Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Hello. Sure, I hope you're doing well. It's great to be here on a lovely Tuesday in New York City, the greatest city in the world. And we play two on Tuesdays. We have our DAZN show at 5 o'clock. We'll be talking to the White Rhino, Dave Allen, who scored that incredible knockout of Johnny Fisher on Saturday at the Copper Bosch. Stay tuned for that. Here on today's program, we've got a beautiful 4-pack of guests, which I can't wait to speak to all of them. We've got some new additions to the desk, as you can see right over here. Shout out to my friend, actually family member, my wife's cousin Lee, who works for McFarlane Toys. Got a nice little Sugar Sean right over here. Got a nice little Vladimir Guerrero Jr. right over there. Got a nice little Josh. The Josh Allen is tough. I mean, look at that one on the side. Looking like Bart Starr in 1967. Now look at that, Josh. And we've got some other ones back there as well from their new UFC line. So shout out to them. Shout out to Mark Trinidad of Geeky Jerseys. Did you guys know about Geeky Jerseys? Well, you do now. Sent me this beautiful card. I mean, as heartfelt as it gets. Sometimes just sort of blown away by how nice people are. Even refer to me as Unc Ariel, which you know is the gateway to my heart. Do you guys know what he got me? Does anyone know what he got me? Anyone back there? Is anyone alive? Is anyone even in the studio?
Nah, man, we don't know.
No? Okay, look at this.
Josh Allen is tough, though.
It is tough.
The coat.
Look at this. Look at this jersey.
Is that Happy Gilmore?
Yo. Tough.
That's pretty sweet.
Geeky Jerseys. I'm not familiar with the brand, but shout out to them.
We gotta get Sandler in studio to sign it.
Oh my God! Just in time for the sequel coming out in July. So thank you to everyone who is so nice to us. We appreciate you all very much. Shout out to Nick, who's I forgot to mention Nick last show on Monday. He is replacing Frank, who I guess is just gallivanting all over the. Is he ever coming back? He did text us grits, which was the secret word. So apparently he's paying attention, or maybe someone told him. You never know.
I did not tell him.
He did not tell him. It's confirmed. There are still some skeptics back there, but nevertheless, Nick filling in very, very well. It's great to have the rest of the crew here, and like I said, great to have this 4-pack of guests back into the show. We'll talk to the newest member of the Ryzen crew, Ryan Bader. We had him on when it was announced that he was leaving PFL but since then, he has signed with Ryzen. He was at their last show. Want to get a sense. We're living vicariously through all these excursions, and I want to get a sense of what it's all like. He, of course, is a part of that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film coming out in October, I do believe, entitled "The Smashing Machine," based on one of the greatest combat sports documentaries of all time, entitled "The Smashing Machine," about the life and times of one Mark Kerr. So he plays Mark Coleman. Ryan Bader does, and he got to hang out with Coleman at the event. Lots to talk to him about. Prior to that, we'll be joined by the King of Rio himself, Jose Aldo Jr., the man who just fought in Montreal a little less than 2 weeks ago. Hard-fought battle against Ayman Zahabi. I did say that I thought he won the fight. Zahabi was kind enough to come on. He sort of kind of retired after the fight, and this past weekend he held a press conference at Novo União in Rio and pretty much said, adios. Now, adios is not the way to say goodbye in Portuguese. It is more Spanish, but it's sort of like universally recognized, right? I would say. Anyway, we'll talk to Jose Aldo at 2 o'clock. At 1:30, we were debating, is Mateusz Gamrot the most ducked fighter, since that's the word of the week, the word of the month, in MMA, in the UFC in particular? I don't know. He is fighting next weekend against Ludovic Klein. That's May 31st at the world-famous Apex. But if you go through his social media, as GC did so very well, you can go back to, I don't know, December, January of him just looking for a fight. TM. Well, he got his fight, but he was talking about the likes of Benoit Saint-Denis and Arman Tsarukyan, has a win over Arman a few years ago. In the end, he's fighting Ludovic Klein. Tough fight, maybe not as glamorous as he would have hoped. But we're going to talk to him about what the hell is going on. What the hell is going on with his career, and why can't he get a big-time fight? In a matter of seconds, though, we're going to be joined by Angela Lee, inaugural ONE Championship atomweight champion, 5 title defenses, 2-time strawweight title contender. 11-3 in MMA, 11-3 in ONE. She started her career with ONE Championship. She ended her career with ONE Championship. She retired at the end of 2023, and since then has become a very strong and vocal, hardworking mental health advocate. May, by the way, is Mental Health Awareness Month. I've talked about this topic. It is definitely one that is near and dear to my heart, and I think we all have our stories. It's like mental health is no longer a thing where it's like, oh, do you struggle with mental? Like, no, it's the same thing as physical health. We're all trying to be in the best shape. We're all trying to be healthy. We're all trying to eat right. All these things. It's the same with our mind, and it's become less of a taboo topic in athletics. We've seen some very big names in the world of basketball and football and soccer talk about mental health. And as far as combat sports is concerned, and MMA in particular, Angela Lee is leading the charge. She launched a nonprofit organization entitled Fightstory. Fightstory.org is where you can learn more about it. It's inspired by the life of her younger sister, Victoria, who unfortunately passed away back in December of 2022 at the age of 18. May 17th was supposed to be her 21st birthday, and Angela and her team over at Fightstory have done an incredible job of keeping her legacy alive, sharing her story, and also trying their best to help others. Jared Gordon, who just fought on the last card for the UFC at the Apex in Las Vegas, a big part of what they're doing at Fightstory. And they announced some pretty exciting news regarding a partnership with the UFC just a couple of days ago. And so without further ado, let us say hello to the aforementioned Angela Lee, who is joining us from all the way in Hawaii. It's very early in the morning over there, but she's kind enough to join us here now. Hello, Angela. How are you? It's good to talk to you again. Uh-oh.
Hi, Ariel.
Oh, hey.
Hey. It's good to see you again. Sorry, they said that the internet connection was a bit spotty, so doing our best over here.
Okay, we will work through it. Yes, it was stalling out of the gate, but I think it's okay now, so we'll work through it. Nothing out of the ordinary for us. How are you doing? I know this weekend you posted about it being your sister's 21st birthday. I'm sure a lot of emotions come with that date and that anniversary. What has it been like for you, and how are you doing over the last few days?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, this past week was a little bit difficult. There's a lot of different emotions, happy and of course sad at the same time. But we're doing our best to move forward, and it's just a reminder for me to keep on what we're doing here at Fightstory, and yeah, just allowing myself to kind of feel every emotion and trying hard not to block it out. I feel like it's easier to do that sometimes, and sometimes it's necessary. But this year, just trying to allow myself to take it slow and just process the emotions as they come.
I remember you joined the program when you launched Fightstory a couple of years ago. How are things going now? How's the organization going? Are you happy with the progression?
Yeah, I know it has been a little while. I feel like we have gotten a lot of
Okay, we lost your audio now. Do you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, for some reason we lost your audio there at the start, but now you're back. So okay, so if you could just re-answer that because I didn't hear anything you said.
Okay. Yeah. No, I feel like we've been making great progress with Fightstory, and of course with our big announcement that just came in the month of May, partnership with the UFC, and we're taking all the right steps in the right direction, getting to where we want to be.
Okay, so this is a very exciting news. The news that you guys are partnering with the UFC. Can you tell us what is the sort of what is the partnership and what does it all mean for Fightstory?
We're super excited and very grateful. Of course, with the UFC being the organization that it is, largest organization right now, and the influence it has over people, for them to come behind Fightstory and back us and partner with us means a great deal. Um, it shows their commitment to athlete well-being and safety and prioritizing mental health. And we are working on a program right now called the Mental Fight Kit, and that is going to be a huge step in the right direction for athletes in combat sports. The Mental Fight Kit essentially is a digital toolkit that will help fighters strengthen their mindset, build resilience, and grow in and out of the cage. So we're very excited to work on that, and with the UFC's support, hopefully get this kit out to as many people as possible.
I love that, and I was reading on your website that the Mental Fight Kit features 4 key sections: pre-fight kit, self-assessment, the warrior's self-concept, mindset of a champion, and core mental performance topics. And on the website fightstory.org, there's a breakdown of what's included in all of those. Is your hope that every single UFC fighter will be given this? Because I don't need to tell you, there are some who kind of suffer and battle in silence, right? They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to tell everyone. So just like you're given your free pair of shoes, your uniform for fight week, they just give you this. You can open it if you want. You can look at it if you don't want, if you do want, whatever. It's just part of the process of being a UFC fighter. It's part of everything that you get. Is that the hope, as opposed to someone having to volunteer to get access to these documents and to this information?
Yeah, definitely. My hope is to make this tool free for all athletes, coaches and teams. My hope is that the organizations will see that this is, a priority, just like the fighters have access to the UFC Performance Institute facility for their physical training, that they also get access to Mental Fight Kit for their mental preparation. And I think that, the UFC is leading the way for other organizations to also prioritize this for the fighters.
As far as what is included in this kit, who is working with you on this information? This is pretty, it's I would imagine tough for one person to do all of this. Do you have a whole team of people working with you? Do you have professionals who are, well versed in this particular topic working on this as well?
Yeah. Besides myself and Jared, who are the two main fighters that are giving our input, we are going to be having 2 or 3 other sports psychologists working on developing the program right now. And they all have their extensive backgrounds, and also 2 of them working specifically with combat sports athletes for the past years. We have Daria, who's on the team, who has been working with multiple UFC fighters and champions, and 1 championship fighters as well. So definitely we have a solid team who understands exactly what fighters need. So it's really built by the fighters for the fighters.
Since you launched Fightstory, have you heard from a lot of fighters who were maybe too afraid, too shy to speak up or to seek help? Have you heard from people privately who are interested in what you're doing, who are thankful for what you're doing, who have shared their stories with you?
Yeah, we've had a lot of people, whether they're messaging us on Instagram and social media, or through the website, a lot of people have come forward and shared their stories, but a lot of them also are not quite there yet. And that's totally okay. Everyone's in their own unique journey of where they feel comfortable with. And I think that the main thing is that when they see Fightstory and they see our mission and they hear other people's stories, is that they feel less alone. They feel that they're not the only ones who are going through these struggles.
What would you say is perhaps the biggest misconception, or maybe I should say like something that fans don't think of when they think of fighters and their struggles with mental health? Like, for example, I can't imagine being a fighter in the year 2025 as opposed to 2000 or 2001, where you lose a fight, it's devastating. Perhaps you're injured, you're embarrassed, who knows, you were winning the fight, there's a lot at stake, there's a lot of money involved, your career progression is involved and all that stuff. And now you have to go on social media, which is addicting, and you want that affirmation, or you want to know how people feel about you, and you have people saying that you suck. I bet on you, you ruined my parlay. Like, I can't even imagine, and I see this stuff, and I don't understand how people can bring themselves to write this to a professional athlete who lays it all on the line. And so I'm wondering if that's a big thing that you hear of, if that affects them more than we even consider, or are there other things that come to mind?
Yeah, it's a huge factor, I think, especially because for fighters, a lot of times we need that presence on social media, that impacts our sponsorships and brand deals and so forth. And usually how relevant you are on social media, affects other things. So we kind of need to be on social media. But then social media, as we know, is not very good for your mental health.
Right.
So it's really hard to keep that balance, I think. And I think for fighters, having that layer of separation, of viewing it solely as I'm on here for my work, for my job, and kind of detaching the emotional value that comes with it, it's hard. It's very hard to do. I've been affected by it too, especially being so young. In the sport, I started out when I was like 18, and so it does have a huge toll on you. You kind of like, why? I don't even know these people. Why are they saying these things?
Right.
So needing that layer of separation and viewing it solely as I'm doing this for my work and that's it. But yeah, it does get intertwined. It is tricky.
You hear a guy like Sean O'Malley who says like he takes it off his phone and he hasn't looked at it in 6-7 months, and he's one of the most popular fighters in the UFC. And so when you hear something like that, you begin to understand how much it can affect you, and then you hear how happy they are, how much happier they are as a result of not being on social media. It just shows how impactful it is. Are there other things that we don't consider? With the diet, with the weight cut, with the training that you guys are battling, that we just don't see, that we just don't talk about enough leading up to fights?
There's so many different factors. The physical training is one of them, but then of course in fight camps, if there's injuries coming up, if there's outside stressors financial wise, or family problems, or all these other things that we kind of have to deal with, that nobody really sees or knows. There's so much that goes into it, and that's a lot of weight to carry. So that's what we're hoping with the mental fight kit, that we're able to give the fighters these tools to help sort out each of the things they have to deal with, because it's not just the fight, it's not just the preparation, it's so much more life outside of it that really affects your preparation for the fight. And then even after the fight is done, post-fight, you're going to need that support of like how to cope with everything that you just went through, because everyone knows the life of a fighter is like a roller coaster ride full of ups and downs, highs and lows. And once you reach that peak of fight night, then you usually come down, have a letdown. And how do you process those those emotions, those feelings? Just having that overall support of like pre-fight, and then when you're in the fight camp, and then post-fight as well. That's something that I wish I had, and that's something I think everyone should have.
So a couple of years ago, we spoke to you when you retired somewhat surprisingly. We didn't see it coming. You were still so young in the sport. Have you ever considered coming back at any point?
The thoughts have crossed my mind, but it wouldn't be for the right reasons. It wouldn't be because I have that love and fire for the sport. It would be solely like for financial reasons, and that's for me. I don't think that's the right reason to come back to the sport. And so, I'm trying to figure out other ways how to do that. Right now, besides Fightstory, me and my husband have our own jiu-jitsu gym here in Hawaii. And then I'm also looking to get into hosting women's retreats, which has been fun, actually. So yeah, a lot of other things, and just trying to find myself outside of being just a fighter.
Okay, so I was going to ask, are you still training? Because obviously that helps when it comes to mental health, right? Being active, working out, all those things. It sounds like the gym is still alive, it's thriving, and I would imagine you partake in activities in the gym.
Yeah, very happy to say that I am training, regularly now, and that has been a little bit of a process. In the beginning, it was really hard for me to come back into the gym and train on the mats, but I was able to, kind of work through some things, and now viewing it differently as well, like training and exercising for health and longevity, and besides training for a competition or a fight. So my mentality around training has changed, and I think it's for the better. I'm in a good place now.
What is your dream? What is your goal for Fightstory? Like ultimately, where do you want to take this? Where do you want to see it end up?
For me, my dream for Fightstory is to essentially revolutionize combat sports, and the making sure that athlete safety and well-being is prioritized. And I think that there are so many things that as fighters we do and that we put on the line, and it's a high stakes job. It's such an extreme sport, and you're in such an extreme environment. I think that the fighters deserve to have as much support going into this as possible. With all the different factors that we have to deal with when we go out there in the cage, we're not just putting our health on the line. Also financially, a lot of times the decision of the fight, whether we win or lose, has a huge impact on us as well. And so that kind of stress, we need to make sure that, before the fight, during and after the fight, that the athletes have the support and the tools that they need to care for themselves. It's just so much more that goes into it, and that people don't even realize. And, I wish I knew all of these things now. Back when I was fighting, I feel like I would have, a huge edge over the competition, but also I would be able to view, my life in a different way, at seeing that it's not just about the fights, it's not just about the results, but there's so many more other factors that are way more important, and that life is so much more than just what you do inside of the cage.
Mm-hmm. Or the wins and losses, right? It's about everything that goes into it, the journey, the people that are by your side. And that's not just for fighting, that's for just regular life, for regular Joe Schmoes like myself, and the people that work on this show and the people watching this show who aren't superstar pro athletes like you guys. You guys are doing great things. I believe if people want to donate, they can do so over at givebutter.com/donate Fightstory. Fightstory.org is the website. You guys have done some collabs with Fairtex. We showed a few of those shirts as well. And very happy to hear that the UFC is on board. And I hope that all the organizations will be on board. All the promotions will be on board. That would be tremendous as well. Keep fighting the good fight, Angela. Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate you joining us. And if there's anything we could ever do to spread the message and what you guys are doing, we would love to do so.
Thank you so much, Ariel. Appreciate it.
All right, there she is, Angela Lee Pucci, who is a former now MMA fighter, former one championship champion, who's doing great things, and that is really amazing that the UFC is working with them. Shout out to Ian Sang, who is actually New York Rick's brother-in-law, who is working with Angela and the Fightstory team, who helped set that up and made us aware of the UFC partnership. I love that, and I also love the fact that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, as I said, and on Thursday, actually on DAZN, there is an event that will be a boxing event that will be really shedding more light on the mental health battle that we all deal with. It's called Championing Mental Health. It's on Thursday, May 22nd. You can watch it on DAZN. It's from Avalon, Hollywood, and Bardot. I wonder if that's the Avalon Theater that I'm always talking about. And yes, a night of fights with the proceeds going to mental health charities and to, most importantly, shed light on this struggle that affects everyone from all walks of life, whether you're an athlete or, like I said, a regular working class individual. So thank you very much to Angela, and congrats to her and her team on everything they're doing, and wishing them continued success. In a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by Mateusz Gamrot. I'm looking forward to this interview for multiple reasons. Number one, he's one of the best fighters in the UFC's lightweight division. Number two, he has been looking for a fight quite actively on social media. It seems like whenever there's an opportunity for a late replacement, a lightweight fighter to step in on super short notice, he is raising his hand. And for whatever reason, he hasn't gotten his number called. Now, he is fighting on the 31st of May. That's the next UFC card. There is no UFC card this weekend, a rare off week. You know, they used to, like, Memorial Day weekend used to be a staple. We've talked about this in the past. And now it's like a super quiet weekend. Weird how that works. I guess the intel told them that people just want to hang out or do other things. I don't know. Maybe it's not a busy travel weekend to Las Vegas, but it used to be a Las Vegas staple Saturday Memorial Day weekend. So anyway, they're off this weekend. They're back May 31st. That's the card headlined by Macy Barber versus Aaron Blanchfield. And he's fighting Ludovic Klein, who's a very tough out and maybe not the type of name that he was looking for, but I think he just wants to fight. He is, of course, representing Poland, but has been living in Florida for the last few months, training out of American Top Team, and just there training without a fight, just hoping that he gets the call so he can jump in relatively quickly. That's how determined he is to get back in there. His last fight was several months ago, in August, I do believe, and here we are. Here we are in May, and he's about to fight almost a year later. Craziness. Anyway, without further ado, let us say hello to the pride of Poland, one of the best lightweights in the world, the one and only Mateusz Gamrot, kind enough to join us from Florida. There he is. Hello, Mateusz. How are you, my friend?
That's right, Ariel. How are you? Everything good?
I'm doing
Thank
great.
you invite me to your show.
I'm very excited to have you. It looks like you were just in a fight, my friend. What happened? What happened to your face?
Bro, just normal then in ATT office. Light sparring with Dustin.
Oh my gosh.
Today morning, but everything is fine. Just scratched, a little bit swollen, but I feel great. I feel amazing.
Amazing. How is Dustin doing? He's preparing for his final fight.
Yeah, he came here this weekend and he started his camp right now, and he helped me in my final sparring today, because I think today was the last session, light hard session, and then I to relax to fight. But I am glad that he come here. He give me always good energy, and yeah, I love work with him.
I love it. Hey, Mateusz, I want to ask you, because it's crazy that you're coming on right now. Someone on my team just sent me a tweet, but I don't know if it's a real tweet or not real tweet. So I'm just going to ask you, saying that Ludovic got hurt. and the fight is off. Is that true, or is that nonsense, fake news?
Oh, I don't know, bro. I hear that only from you right now.
Okay, I don't know. I
have
didn't check, but they just sent it to me now from one of these Twitter sites, so I didn't know if it was BS or anything. So I just wanted to ask you.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't have any information from UFC. So after interview, after talk with you, I will call to my manager and I confirm this. But I hope so, no, bro, because
Yes.
I am 4 months in Florida training really hard every day. So I need to fight. I wanna fight.
I can't imagine, because we went through all your tweets, and dating back 4 or 5 months, every time there's a late replacement, every time there's an opportunity, you say, fight me, and you haven't gotten the fight. Why is that? Why has your number not been called at any point? Or maybe it has been called, but the fights haven't been put together. Why has it been so frustrating for you?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe my style is not good for everybody. But I am sportsman. I am 34 years old, in my prime, good shape, body healthy. I wanna keep fighting. I wanna be busy. That's why every time if I see good opportunity, I say yes. I am ready. No problem. I am ready to go. So I try and find somebody from ranking that to get a good fight, but everybody was booked or nobody won't fight with me. So I say UFC doesn't matter. Give me someone without ranking because I wanna stay busy this year. I wanna get fight and show how I improve my MMA skills.
Your last fight was in August against Dan Hooker. Why has it been so long between fights? Were you hurt in the middle?
No, bro. After this fight, I was so mad because this was close fight. And after this, I say UFC, I wanna fight in December. Give me next fight because I don't wanna wait so long. That's why I came here to January, and I hopes that I get fight soon. I don't know. UFC working on about my fight. Somebody turned down to offered from UFC. That's why I waiting too long time.
How frustrating was it for you to be away from your family? Because I understand you've been in Florida, you said, what, 4 or 5 months, just hoping that you would get the call and so you could be ready, training at ATT. But in the meantime, you're away from your family back in Poland, right? That's a big sacrifice that you're making.
Yeah, that's true. This is huge sacrifice for me because I don't see my kids. Every time when I call to my kids to video message, my kids is different, is a little bit bigger, different move, different talk. But to be honest, this is like good motivation to me, because I wake up in the morning, I see picture my kids, and I say, that's right. Okay, I doing everything for my kids, for my family, for my fans. That I want to prove I am one of the best guys in the world. This is my life. I sacrifice everything, be the best in the world. That's why I am here, train with the best guys. And I am happy from my journey.
When's the last time you saw your kids?
To be honest, when I came to Florida, I bring my family, but my kids and my wife was here only 2 months. And in March, in the middle to March, my family back to Poland, and from this day I am only here. So it's half of the March, April, May, no, almost 2 months. 2 months.
Okay. So I think a lot of this, got attention when it seemed like they wanted to book you versus Arman Tsarukyan. Now you have a win over Arman Tsarukyan, and he came out and said, essentially, I wasn't interested in that fight. Is that true? What's your side of this story? This is a tweet from Arman regarding Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, and then you quoted it saying, "Stop looking for easy fights, especially with a clown. Without ambition, you will never be a champion. You got a chance to revenge, so accept it." So what happened?
I don't know. I just heard from UFC that UFC wanna make this fight. I was happy because he is #1 in the ranking. So for me, it was be huge opportunity. But he don't accept this fight, and that's it.
You beat him, so why do you want the fight? You would think that he would want the fight to avenge the loss.
Yeah. Maybe he say like he deserve better, but maybe he's scared like he lose with me again. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't like thinking too much this time. He say no. Okay, I looking for sometimes
Yeah.
to next one.
You called Patty a clown. You haven't been impressed with what he's done.
Yeah, because I don't like this guy. He talk too much. He's arrogant from England, you know. He talk some things about me many times. I love meet him in the octagon because his way to this position when he has right now was so easy. I don't think so. If he get a good opponent against him, I don't think so. He win this fight, and I love fight with him. He's from Europe. I am from Europe. I think if UFC make this fight, it's gonna be like maybe the biggest fight in the lightweight division to Europe. And my opinion, he is great stylistic for me, and I beat him for sure.
His
I, he is grappler. I am grappler. I love scramble with somebody in the ground, you know, because my previous opponent was only striker, only fire. The ground was fire for everybody, and everybody stand up. I love roll with somebody in the ground. Like today. Today I have a few rounds with grappler guy, and after this I have few rounds with Dustin. So bro, in ground was fire. Every time when I have opportunity, I submit the guy. That's why if my upcoming fight with Ludovic Klein, I hope so. This news is not true what you say.
Yeah.
Because my plan is make him tired, take him down, and submit him in the ground. And this is not. I can say this, no problem.
Yes. By the way, when you're at the gym, do you ever see Armin Sarukian? Because he also trains at ATT. Do you guys ever cross paths?
To be honest, no, because always when I have camp, so he is not here. But
Okay.
if he train here, I am in Poland. Like we never like meet. Maybe one time we see him in the gym, but never train together in the mat.
Okay. And by the way, regarding Paddy Pimblett, his last win over Michael Chandler, I thought he looked very good. I thought he looked very impressive, improved. Did you think the same?
No. Now look, he looks good, okay, but if you fight with somebody who only stay is like backward, so everybody will looks really good, you know. But Chandler was good like 10 years ago, 7 years ago. So if Buddy Pimblett meet Chandler from this time, I don't think so that the fight looks like that. So like I say, Buddy fought with backward in this fight. That's why he looks good. That's why.
So what happened with Benoit Saint Denis? Because you said that you were offered to step in and fight him in Montreal when his opponent Joel Alvarez pulled out, but he told me last week that he was never offered you. So what's your side of the story?
Bro, soldiers don't behave like that. Soldiers don't shoot like your fans and friends, you know, because I have message in my phone that I I have call from UFC that Sean Shelby asked me about can I step to the fight. I start package my baggage from my room, you know. I was ready to go to Montreal. I start cut weight, but he say no. I don't know why. Especially he called me out like 2 times before this fight, so I was 100% know that he accept this fight. But this was big surprise to me. But bro, if BSD want the smoke, no problem. I heard like in the UFC wanna back to September in France. This is gonna be great opportunity. Main event, BSD, 5 rounds.
Break him. Were you told that if you win on May 31st that you will fight him next? Is that the fight they want to make?
I like keep my focus too much.
Sure.
This first step, you know, I don't like thinking too much and talk too much what will be in the future because you know I don't. First step is the most important right now. But sure, if UFC give me this offer, I can fight with him. But to be honest, like many fighters pull tour down fight with me. Right now, I will fight with guy without ranking. So next fight, I would like if I won or if I smash somebody this May 31, I would like someone from top 10.
Okay. Just curious, did you watch his fight at UFC 315, his win? And if so, what did you think of how he looked?
Mm, BSD.
Yeah. It was a nice, he got a finish. He
He
got
gonna
back on track.
finish, yeah, he gonna finish, but his opponent was not super level. I wasn't impressed with his performance. He looks like, of course, he is tough, he is strong for sure, but I don't think so. His technique is really high level. We saw how he fought with Dustin Poirier and Renato Moicano, right? This both guys was super high level, and if Besdi fight against super high level, that we have answer. So the both guy was also with ATT. I will be another guy from ATT who will fight with him. So this is gonna be a nightmare for him.
What do you think happens if you fight him? How does the fight go?
I think this is gonna be a lot of scramble, really good matchup. This is gonna be like non-stop action, but this is perfect man who will be submit.
Okay. All right. What about Mauricio Ruffi? Did he turn you down as well?
To be honest, I don't know what I hear that from podcast from this. I think like UFC before Ludovic Klein, I think UFC asked Rufi about fight with me, and maybe he say no. That's why is looking UFC start looking for more, and then Ludovic Klein was next.
Okay.
I think this was like that.
There was an opening to maybe fight Justin Gaethje on short notice back in March. In the end, it went to Rafael Fiziev. Were you in the mix there for that fight?
For
Justin Gaethje. Yeah, in March in Las Vegas when Hooker had to withdraw.
Yeah. Oh, Ariel, this was a great moment to me. This was like 10 days before. Gaethje, huge name in UFC, favorite fans. So this was this was great if I jump from this guy, but he prepared against striker guy. I am grappler, so I am not surprised that he chose Fiziev because Fiziev was striker. So he chose guy who prepared, right? But yeah, I was ready to step in. Yeah. Gaethje is one of my favorite guy in my list who wanna fight with him.
Do you feel any pressure going into next weekend to be exciting, to try to put on a show, to get a stoppage so that the UFC gets behind you a little more as opposed to just a hard-fought decision win? Do you feel any kind of pressure to change your style?
No. I like every time when I am here, I improve my skills. I try fight like everywhere, striking, grappling, mixed martial. I try finish the guy here. And after 4 months here, I really improve everything, and I wanna show that I am like new version. After my fight with Hooker, he learned me. He teach me a lot because he was really tough, and every first 3 minutes, every round I won with him, but he gets scored at the end of the round. This was huge lesson to me that I need to fight like full rounds. So I need for sure I am different version than I was last year.
When you were ultimately offered Ludovic Klein, was a part of you a little bit disappointed that he wasn't a ranked opponent, but ultimately had to say yes just because you wanted to fight?
Yeah. I say yes because I wanna stay busy. I say UFC, give me someone without ranking. If I wait the few months more, probably I get someone from ranking. But I don't wanna wait so long. I am good shape. I wanna show how I work every day, and that's why I accept everybody. I never say no from when I get some offer, from UFC. Like my life, my career is my fantastic journey. I wanna show my fans, my kids that be confident in life is the most important things. Whatever what you want in life or sports or business, you have to be confident, believe yourself, and go forward.
Are you living at the gym, at the dorm?
Yes.
Wow, what's that like?
small room, 2 meters, 2 meters.
Oh gosh.
But I really love this room because this here is no distraction, no nothing. I go to elevator down. After session, like after 10 minutes, I take shower, I drink shake, I go to bed. Like my recovery is really quick. I don't lose time and for anything. This is like this is great to me to be camp. Of course, if I need to live in Florida and stay here long time, this is gonna be bad for mine. But like if I am here like 2-3 months, is great. No distraction, just focus to training, just focus to myself, and yeah, every day I feel getting better.
My understanding is at the dorm, it's usually like the younger fighters, the up and coming fighters. Are you one of the older guys there?
All those guys know, but inside my body, I feel like I have 25 years old.
Yeah.
So if I see young guns here, so I feel like I am the same age like the guys here. So yeah, I really love this feeling here, this atmosphere. Everything is great.
By the way, can I ask, it's a very interesting time in the lightweight division because Islam has moved up and Ilya has entered the mix, and now they're doing the vacant fight with Charles. What do you make of this? Were you surprised that Islam moved up and didn't fight Ilya next month?
No, I am not surprised. Like Islam fought a long time in the lightweight division, and he cut a lot of weight to lightweight division. 2-3 times we fight the same card, so I saw him full fight week. How he looks, I think looks bad, because too much cut weight. Of course, his performance cage was good, but full fight week he tried cut weight. So I think when he move up right now, this is gonna be better for his performance, and I think this is good idea for him. He need to something fresh, like Ilya go to up division because he need to something fresh. So I don't think that Islam running away from him.
Fair enough. Who do you think wins, Ilya or Charles?
Interesting matchup. The both guys has changed. Like if Ilya hit Charles Oliveira head, so he can knock him down for sure. But I think Oliveira is so big for him and for all-rounder fighter, and I think Oliveira will win this fight.
Wow, you think Oliveira's going to win? I haven't heard a lot of people say that.
I think so. He is big. It depends how his performance will be in the fight, because sometimes he looks bad, but sometimes he looks fantastic. So I think that in the ground he will be much better for Ilya. Especially like the gabarit is much different. Oliveira is big guy. Ilya is small guy. So if Oliveira catch him in the ground, I think this is gonna be big problem. But like I say, Ilya can knock him out for him also, So this is like 50-50, but I think Oliveira will win.
You think Ilya made a mistake by going up to 155? Do you think he should have stayed at 45?
Maybe no mistake, because he try find something new, but he's small, Like I think if like the both guys is same level, so the gabarit, the body is big, is different to get the win. So it depends who will fight with him. Like the big guy, like Islam or Oliveira, this can be problem.
I saw recently that you were training with Bo Nickel, who comes to the gym. Were you surprised at what happened a couple of weeks ago against RDR?
Yes, little bit surprised, because I thought the Bo Nickel will win this fight. Especially the stylistic was great for him, because the guy was grappler as well. But the guy has really good game plan against Bo Nickel. Like use the knee, use the clinch. I am not happy that Bo Nickel lost, but for sure this make him getting stronger for sure. He's smart man. He's sportsman. So he this is gonna be a lesson for him, and next fight he will be better fighter for sure.
You think he'll bounce back? You think he can still be a major player in the 185 division?
Of course. I think so, like that.
Okay, you believe in him. That's good. You guys, the 18.
Believe him, of course. He is my man. He's wrestler. I am wrestler, so we have the same vibe. I love he's bigger than me, but I love training with him. He also invited me to Penn State in wrestling gym. The one day I hope so I go with him to Pennsylvania and I will train with the best wrestler in the guys. Wrestling is my DNA in my heart. I always representing this style in during to fight. So I am happy if I can roll with him in the wrestling in the mat.
By the way, I see that you're wearing an Under Armour shirt, and I saw that you're selling also a Gamrot. Oh, that's the one. That's the shirt. Can you stand up? Yeah, that's a sick shirt. And so, are you sponsored by Under Armour?
Yes, Under Armour is my sponsor from Poland.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And this T-shirt is to the fans. This is like drop like everybody who is my fan and who wants support to me can buy this T-shirt to my website.
And is it true that if you buy it, then a piece of the proceeds go to charity? Is that true?
Yes, of course.
Which charity?
The small percent is for charity for people who need help. I like help people. Because this is good. If you are good. If you are good for different people, then the good things coming to you.
Sure.
So if I can sell this T-shirt, so I can give some money for people who need more than me.
Okay, so what is your plan for 2025? Because I know you told a member of our team, Alan, you said 2025, most important year of your life, Gamrot 2.0. So what is the hope? May 31st, you fight. And then when do we see you again? And then when do we see you after that? And where are you at the end of the year?
Yeah, this is the most important year in my career. This year show me which way I will go. I wanna stay busy this year. Of course, it depends what's happening during to fight. This my 31, But if everything will be great, if I will be healthy and I will be fresh, I wanna stay busy. I wanna fight next 2-3 months, Okay. Maybe Hooker will be ready to fight if I wish him a fast recovery. So maybe I run back with him. If not him, maybe BSD in September. And then if I submit BSD in the end of the year, like December, and somebody will be good to me, I can go again. I want to stay busy, I want to show that this is the time for me.
You're hungry.
I am very hungry. 34 years old, but like I say, inside my body, I have 25. Hungry, good shape, healthy. Let's go.
Let's go. And after this fight, are you going to go home for a bit? Are you going to go see your family?
Yeah, of course. After fight, I back to home. I miss my home. I miss my kids. I miss my friends. So I have to go to Poland, But if I get next offer to UFC to fight, I back to ATT for sure.
Okay. Well, I hope everything is good on May 31st. What's the prediction? How do you win on the 31st of May?
No, Ludovit Klein is tough opponent. He has 6-win streak, and I don't estimate him. Because he's good fighter, striker, is fast, is dynamic. He has good statistic to takedown defense, but I wanna ruin this statistic and take him down, make him tired, and submit him. It depends what he give me, like neck, arms, or legs. Doesn't matter, but I really looking for this.
By the way, one last question. You're a former KSW lightweight and featherweight champion, and there's now currently a fighter from France named Saladin Parnasse, who's also lightweight and featherweight champion. Have you been watching him? Are you impressed with him?
Yeah, Saladin is really good. He's also double champion in KSW. We have like short story. When I finished my contract with KSW, KSW offered me him that if I wanna the end of my contract with KSW, I need to fight with Saladin Parnasse, and I say no problem. But this time Saladin say no, that he don't wanna fight with me. So that I need to make 2 more fights, and I did this fight, and that's why I finished my contract. But I always watch Saladin Parnasse. He's really high-level guy, one of the best from KSW, and I think if he goes to UFC, for example, he for sure will be like top 10, top 15 from ranking.
It's amazing. Everyone's saying no to you.
What do you say?
This is like a theme in your career. Everyone says no to fighting you, it seems like.
Maybe not everybody, no, maybe not everybody, but sometimes this is the time that somebody don't want with me. Like, like everybody know that my wrestling is super high level and nobody expect that I defend my shoot.
Yes, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you back. Keep up the great work. I like that you're a lot more vocal now, that you're going out there trying to get a fight. And like I said, hopefully all good for May 31st and that we see you in a big fight later on this year. Thank you, Mateusz. Really appreciate it. Good luck to you and all the best.
Ariel, thank you so much. Appreciate that you invite me again. All the best to you. Have a nice day.
Same to you. Love it. There he is. Let's go. Mateusz Gamrot, the pride of Poland. I love his energy. Great energy. He's fired up. Rick sent me a tweet. I don't know. I don't know what to. I figured I'd just ask, but maybe I don't know.
I've actually seen a couple tweets like that.
Oh, you have?
From no one reputable, though. What the hell? And there's only like 2 or 3 likes on each of them.
What? My heart will break for the guy. I mean, it's really unbelievable how many times he's raised his hand to fight over the last few months.
Ducking allegations will be heavy for Ludovic Klein if that happens.
No. Someone could get hurt. Why don't they just sign Saladin Parnas? I didn't realize that.
I mean, he said it's unsubstantiated. He said he hasn't heard anything. Let's not.
No.
put
I'm
the
just
cart
saying.
ahead of the horse here.
Gamrot needs a fight. The guy hasn't fought since August.
He's got to fight Ludovic Klein.
He hasn't fought since August. Why is he fighting May 31st? Is the question. They need to go to Poland. I like he's intense.
He ramped up the energy today. He was bringing it.
Also, is he the first person that you guys have seen who is picking Charles Oliveira to win?
I mean,
Hey, he's one of them.
do I have to say what I feel about that fight?
What? That it's a better fight? That has nothing to do with whether or not Charles is going to win.
I might also be picking Charles Oliveira in that fight.
Get out of here.
I'm still mulling it over. I'm still thinking about it.
I'm calling Cap. Cap City.
No, look, what he described makes perfect sense to me.
Sure.
Ilia Topuria is going to be the smaller man in the cage there. He picked a fight with one of the bigger lightweights, and then he is now in a fight with one of the other bigger lightweights. Like, it is not, stylistically, physicality-wise, it's going to be a departure from what he was seeing at 45. Now, Max is long, but he's not, Charles Oliveira size. The 55 version of Charles Oliveira.
Right.
So, it remains to be seen. But as he said, that power is going to be a difference maker for Ilia.
Couple of news and notes before we move along to our next guest, Jose Aldo. Very excited to have him on the program. Yesterday, Red Corner MMA reported that Kyoji Horiguchi, another ATT fighter, is out of his return fight June 21st in Baku, Azerbaijan. That's a huge bummer. Tagir Ulanbekov is now going to fight Azat Maksum. So that sucks. I think we were all looking forward to that. Damon Martin reported yesterday that Kevin Lee has signed a new multi-fight contract with the PFL. So perhaps they made a Apache Mix versus Kevin Lee trade. I know that doesn't make sense because he wasn't in the UFC, but anyway, he's now in the PFL, and another fighter leaving the GFL nest, if you will, if you still believe that that's a thing. Yesterday on the show, we had Clarissa Shields on, and obviously a wide-ranging discussion. We spoke about a bunch of different topics. Perhaps the most passionate she was about the MVP stuff. Got a call from MVP. 2 notes. They said that they didn't make her any offer to fight on the July 11th card, but would love to do business with her. She did say that she is going to be a free agent after her next fight on July 26th. And they also said that they were never, neither MVP or Amanda Serrano were ever served any kind of papers, cease and desist, anything like that regarding the GWOAT trademark. So Nikisa Badarian also tweeting, MVP unequivocally never made an offer to Clarissa Shields, her promoter, her manager for any fight in 2025. Not even verbally. There it is. So that's that. The drama continues, but I do think that they would want to do business with them being Team Shields. PFL announcing that their Cape Town debut, their PFL Africa / PFL Championship Series event, has changed its date. It's now July 19th. It was July 26th, but now it's the 19th. And the 19th is a very, very busy day in the world of combat sports. There is, of course, the Usyk Dubois 2 card at Wembley Stadium. There's UFC 318 in New Orleans, the Dustin Poirier retirement fight, trilogy fight against one Max Holloway. There might even be something else as well. There's a lot going on. But anyway, they changed that date. So circle July 19th on your calendar. And it appears as though John Jones is keeping up he's enjoying all of this. He's keeping up with his trolling ways. Someone tweeted to him, "Bro, really wasted Tom's prime like that. No respect at all." And his reply was, "Cry more." Loving it. Also see this here from MMAJunkie.com. Ilia Topuria parting ways. Both Ilya and his brother Alexander parting ways with their longtime coaches Jorge and Augustine Clement. Both parties live in different cities, and their multiple professional projects prevent them from collaborating in the same way they have always done, per Marca. So some changes for Ilia Topuria as he gets set for his lightweight debut, or I should say return to the lightweight division, fighting for the vacant lightweight title on the 28th of June in Las Vegas, the headliner for UFC 317. Back end of this hour, we'll be joined by Ryan Bader. In a couple of seconds, we'll be joined by the great Jose Aldo, 38 years young, 32-10 as a professional MMA fighter. Just fought less than 2 weeks ago in Montreal at UFC 315. Two-time UFC featherweight champion, UFC Hall of Famer, inducted in 2023 in the modern wing. Most title fight wins in UFC featherweight history, former WEC featherweight champion. Most consecutive wins in WEC history, that's 8. Career wins over the likes of Uriah Faber, Cub Swanson, Mike Brown, Mark Hominick, Kenny Florian, Frankie Edgar, Chad Mendes, Korean Zombie, Renato Moicano, Chito Vera, and on it goes. It is not hyperbole to say that he is one of the greatest fighters in the history of mixed martial arts. Not just the history of the UFC or WEC, in the history, top 10 all-time in the history of this sport, a pioneer and trailblazer, and it appears as though he has called it a career. Wanted to talk to him after that fight in Montreal about what happened and where he goes from here. He is kind enough to join us alongside the greatest of all time, the one and only Fabiano. There they are. Thank you so much. Jose, bom dia, or boa tarde. Thank you so much for joining us.
Afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, boa tarde.
And Fabiano, great to have you. Jose asked specifically for you, and so when one of the greatest of all time says that you need to be here, you got to be here. And so we are very appreciative of your presence and services as well. Jose, can I ask, I know you just had a press conference over the weekend at Novo União to kind of talk more about the state of things. Can you tell us, for those that didn't hear it or weren't there, what was the announcement that you made to the public on Saturday?
José, tudo bem? A gente gostaria de saber um pouco da coletiva de imprensa que você teve na Nova União nesse último final de semana, para aqueles que não escutaram, para aqueles que não estavam lá, para entender a ideia geral, para passar para todo mundo agora na outra plataforma, tudo aquilo que você falou, só para que todos os fãs saibam o que você quer comunicar para todo mundo.
Então, sim, né? A gente fez no último sábado agora a coletiva, fazendo a nossa despedida oficial, né? Acho que ali a gente tentou fazer, o Dedé, né, fez uma homenagem para nós, então, para mim, falando sobre como foi minha carreira, isso tudo, para os amigos, alguns repórteres que foram também, mas sim uma homenagem à nossa despedida oficial, né? Então, a gente deixou bem claro de tudo aquilo, né, que nós planejamos, tudo aquilo que nós almejamos e alcançamos, e chegou o fim.
Oh, well, yeah, on Saturday, we had the press conference, an official announcement, so to speak, and it was more like a homage. That was a plan, a celebration, made by Day, actually, by Andrea Pederneiras, and it was there we kind of outlined our career, everything we've done, all the plans that we had for my career, and also the accomplishments that we did, for all the great things that we did.
So when you were in the cage in Montreal, Jose, it sounded like you were sort of announcing that you were retiring, but didn't officially announce it. Can you say with certainty now, definitively, that you are done, that you will no longer compete in any combat sport, whether it's MMA, in the UFC, outside of the UFC, or even boxing?
No octógono em Montreal, você falou, e parecia alguns viram um pouco de hesitação, talvez não foi um anúncio oficial, mas agora você anuncia, então, oficialmente, que você realmente não vai mais competir em nenhuma arte marcial, seja no MMA, seja no boxe, não interessa, você não compete mais em arte marcial?
Sim, acho que eu tomei a decisão lá, independentemente de qualquer adversário, do resultado da luta, vitória ou derrota, não importava. Eu já tinha tomado a minha decisão, então já estava convicto daquilo que eu queria, né? Então, sim, acho que como eu fiz no passado, porque na verdade eu parei para querer competir no boxe, e competir no boxe, estava fazendo uma carreira, depois disso tocou no meu coração para me fazer a luta de novo dentro do Ultimate, voltei. Então, não foi por questão de dinheiro, até porque se eu lutasse por dinheiro, eu tinha assinado com outra organização que me ofereceu muito mais, e eu preferi continuar no Ultimate, continuar minha história lá dentro, mas chegou o fim, né? Então, ali, no último sábado lá em Montreal, quando eu lutei, então, independentemente se eu tivesse vencido, a minha decisão seria essa de parar literalmente com tudo. Eu acho que agora, para mim, é até difícil eu colocar uma luva para poder treinar, ou até mesmo um kimono, né? De onde que eu vim, sou oriundo do jiu-jitsu. Então, nem jiu-jitsu eu pretendo mais fazer, né? Então, eu pretendo fazer outras coisas da minha vida.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I made the decision right then and there. Win or lose, independent of the result, I was sure what was going to happen. As you know, I stopped for boxing for a brief period of time, and there was something in my heart that touched me, go back to the UFC, and I didn't do it for the money. I did it to continue my story and my history, because if it was for the money, I would have gone to another organization and got more money for it. But win or lose, the decision was made. I made the decision to stop, and it's hard even for me to put on gloves or a gi where I'm coming from. So right now, I made the decision to stop. I'm not fighting again. I have other things going on for me.
So on Friday or even Saturday morning going into the fight, you didn't make that decision. It was really just in the moment that you decided to be done. And if that is in fact true, what about that moment? Why did you make that announcement? Why did you feel that way?
Essa decisão lá estava feita já na sexta, no sábado. Pareceu que você realmente não tinha feito essa decisão. Você fez essa decisão lá mesmo do escritório. E se foi, o que levou você a tomar essa decisão?
Então, olha, eu já estava tomando decisão já no Brasil, cara. Então, durante o treinamento todo, já vinha treinando, já dando tudo de mim, tentando fazer o máximo que, na minha cabeça, poderia ser a última luta, né? Então, já vinha conversando com a minha esposa, falando sobre isso, que essa poderia ser a última luta, onde que a gente ficava conversando, e ela meio que não acreditava, parava, pensava, comunicava o Dedé também, que isso já estava na minha cabeça de parar mesmo, literalmente. Então, não é questão do sábado em si, ou na sexta, isso já vinha já dentro da minha cabeça, dentro da minha mente. Toda hora eu tinha que estar lutando comigo mesmo para me continuar, para me executar tudo aquilo que eu tinha que fazer, mas não foi uma decisão de momento. Então, quando eu saí do Brasil aqui, eu já vinha com isso na cabeça, até que no vestiário eu falei, não, cara, eu não vou mais fazer isso, assim. Vamos falar, sei lá, daqui para frente eu não sinto mais prazer em fazer isso, né? Então, eu não vou me vender por querer ganhar um dinheiro ou fazer qualquer coisa e manchar tudo aquilo que eu construí.
So, the decision was being made in Brazil, back I was doing throughout camp. It was since I was going hard, going to the max on my camp, because I knew there was the thought of my head that could have been my last fight. Just talking it over with my wife, that was going to be my last fight. She couldn't believe it when I was saying it, but that's what I had in my head. I informed that day as well, and Dr. Daenerys, and it was on my head all the time. It was hard for me to actually to train, to execute. I couldn't see myself doing it. And then we got into the locker room, I just said, well, no, that's not it. I don't have it in me anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel the pleasure of putting on gloves and doing this anymore. I have other things in my life.
So we're just going to reconnect very quickly. We're just having some connection issues. Don't go anywhere, guys. But we're just going to reconnect super fast and get back, because if you're listening, you may be hearing some choppiness there. So just stand by. Great stuff from Jose. Great stuff, as always, from Fabiano. Stick with us here for a moment. This is live television, as they say in the business. And this is how you have to work through things. But as you heard just there, he did in fact say he is done as far as MMA in the UFC, out of the UFC. He is done as far as boxing as well, done competing. We did hear a couple of years ago that he was going to walk away, then reemerge in the world of boxing, and then reemerge back in the UFC. But at this point, there is absolutely nothing left for Jose to prove, and all the weight cuts, all the fights. Remember, 45 and then 35. His last chapter was at 35, and a lot of people thought that he wouldn't last at 35 because of how he looked in the initial fights. It's really, truly one of the most remarkable careers in the history of the sport. Okay, let's go back to Jose and Fabiano, and here they are. Thank you, gentlemen. Jose, can I ask? Obviously, we know that on the Friday before the fight, you had a tough weight cut. Did that factor into things? Like, after that weight cut, did you say to yourself, okay, this is a sign that my time is done?
A gente tem que perguntar sobre o corte de peso na sexta-feira. Ele sabe que o corte de peso foi difícil. Teve alguma coisa no corte de peso que acelerou essa decisão e pensou assim, depois que o corte de peso começa, a decisão está feita. Depois de algo tão difícil como foi.
Então, não, acho que não teve, um afeto. Na verdade, eu estou fazendo isso há muito tempo, né? Então, assim, eu acho que a única coisa do lado ruim é o corte de peso, mas não literalmente nessa luta, né? Sempre foi, assim, para mim, bastante difícil, né? Eu acho que por toda a minha infância, por tudo aquilo que eu passei, então eu ficava fazendo corte de peso, mas fazia parte do trabalho. Dessa vez, agora, o corte de peso estava ótimo. Eu vinha, acho que, muito mais preparado, vamos falar assim, para fazer o corte de peso, então estava tudo dentro daquilo. A gente vinha batendo o peso abaixo, pós-dia. Então não foi questão de corte de peso que me afetou, que fez eu pensar, tomar a decisão. Não, nada disso. Eu acho que eu já vim aqui no Brasil. A real motivo assim, que eu tenho, que eu posso te falar, né? Porque eu tomei essa decisão, né? Então, assim, eu sempre dei tudo de mim, sempre fiz tudo da melhor maneira possível para tentar sempre demonstrar grandes lutas, tanto para o UFC, para os fãs, jornalistas, para todo mundo. Mas de eu sair de casa para me treinar, né? Então, tipo assim, eu saía, aí eu ficava brincando com meu filho, aí quando eu saía, ele ficava chorando. Isso ficou me incomodando, né? De eu poder, assim, perder algumas coisas da minha filha, de não poder ir na escola, pegar ela, ir numa apresentação dela e fazer algumas coisas, porque sempre eu estava treinando, estava fazendo algo, mesmo que seja pautado para a família, né? Pautado para o futuro dos dois. Mas não, isso estava me incomodando. Então eu acho que eu fiz uma boa carreira, eu fiz eu fiz uma boa poupança, vamos falar assim, né? Eu fiz um bom dinheiro, que isso possa sustentar a gente, manter a nossa vida e assim garantir o futuro deles. Então não foi questão de peso, foi muito mais sobre isso, lado familiar, de eu poder acompanhar o crescimento deles, de poder estar mais junto deles, de fazer a carreira deles acontecer, do que a minha mesmo, né?
No, that had no effect. I've been doing this for a long time. I've had a hard life, so that's not a problem to cut weight. There was this, childhood of that. I've done this for quite some time. It's part of the job. I will keep doing it, but the weight was good every day for the week too. Everything, we were actually going through steps, and the weight seemed to be good, and we were on track to actually cut the weight. But this is back going to Brazil. That's the reason. That's the decision that was made. And I think I've always gave it all. I've always, just delivered to the fans, to everyone. And it just that every time I got out of the house, you need to train, right? So I was getting to camp, and I was fighting with myself all the time. I would there were moments I'll be crying and just thinking of my son and my daughter and taking them to school. And I just thought about how much I was missing from their lives. I mean, we got good savings, man. We've made some good money to set up a good future for everybody. And now it's more to being present in their lives, their careers, and to elevate them in their lives.
Had you ever felt that way before? These emotions that you're talking about, these experiences, is this the first time in your career that you've ever felt that?
Você já tinha sentido isso na tua vida, essas emoções, essa experiência? Foi a primeira vez na tua carreira que você sentiu as coisas que você está narrando?
Sim, né? Porque da Joana, né? Então a Joana eu estava muito novo ainda, né? Então não sei se eu acho que eu estava com 25 anos, eu acho. Então eu era muito novo, então eu tinha que estar pela carreira. Mesmo assim, eu fui perdendo algumas coisas. Eu sempre tive mais esse lado familiar, porque eu sempre lutei pela minha família, pela base daquilo que eu tinha que construir para dar o melhor para eles. Sempre foi meu sonho, né? De construir uma família, de ter e poder dar algo que eu não tive quando criança. Então, agora de ver meu filho com 3 anos de idade e ele brincar comigo, de ficar jogando futebol, e às vezes eu chego cansado, não consegui jogar uma bola com ele, para ele brincar, ou quando eu ir treinar e ele ali querendo brincar com o pai, eu poder sair, ele ficar chorando, eu vir atrás da porta, sabe? Aquilo me tocava no meu coração, é como fosse, eu estava sendo como fosse egoísta, né? Eu acho que eu cheguei a um certo ponto, eu pude fazer bastante dinheiro para eles e eu poder fazer outra coisa na minha vida que ocupa menos tempo, para mim, porque eu não sei fazer nada mal feito. Eu me dedico com tudo que eu tenho para sempre fazer o melhor. Então, chegou um certo momento, eu falei, cara, não, eu preciso aproveitar esse lado familiar. Sim, sou estranho para todo mundo, pela carreira, pelo jeito que eu luto. Todo mundo fala, cara, você está muito bem, você mantém a velocidade, você é um cara explosivo, você é um cara que pode ser campeão. Só que, cara, não me toca mais no meu coração, na minha mente. Então eu precisava desse momento. Por isso que eu te falo, hoje eu não consigo mais botar um kimono, não consigo colocar mais calçar uma luva para não fazer nada, porque é momento deles. Eu acho que eu tenho que aproveitar aqui, eu tenho que tentar fazê-lo ser a melhor pessoa possível.
First time. I think when I had Brandon was young, I was 25. So I missed many things already, but I was thinking about the future. Family was always the side that was there, right? I was always fighting for my family. I was fighting to make money to give my family all the conditions and all the luxuries I didn't have when I was young. But now with my son being 3 now, so I felt that. I felt missing stuff with him. So he wants to play and we're playing, I have to leave that. And then I just started to feel selfish about just not doing it. This is another time. Listen, I got all the money I could afford them. It's time to do other things in my life. And I don't do anything half-assed. And I give my all, and I try to be the best that I can, and I deliver in everything I've done in my life. So that's what I'm going to dedicate myself to. It sounds weird to many people because I think you still got it. You're still explosive. You still could be a champion. So why you stop? It's not there. But that's why I say I can't see myself putting on gloves. I can't see myself putting on he's just not there. It's time for other things.
When you came back to the UFC, Jose, a lot of people were excited about this last chapter and you having maybe these legend fights. And some of the fans and some of the journalists, including myself, felt like the fights weren't what we had anticipated. They weren't these mega fights against other legends, names like Dominic Cruz and whatnot. It just sort of felt like we were wondering what there was for you to gain from these matchups. With all due respect to the opponents, they just weren't on your level name-wise. And obviously some of the fights played out as they did. Do you understand that sentiment? And do you have any regrets about some of the matchups that you were booked in when you came back for this last run in the UFC?
Bruno, quando você voltou, muitos de nós, os fãs e todos esperavam lutas contra lendas. Só lutão, A gente queria ver você fazendo história. E o casamento de luta acabou não sendo esse, não só. Primeiro, falar das lutas em si, os nomes não eram aqueles que a gente esperava nomes como você lutar contra o Dominic Cruz, não aconteceu. Os nomes já eram diferentes, pessoal jovem, pessoal que estava subindo, e acabou não se materializando esse desejo que muitas pessoas tinham de que as lutas fossem daquele jeito. Então, tem um pouco de remorso por conta do casamento de lutas, pelas lutas que acabaram acontecendo, que não foi tal qual a expectativa que muitos tinham para o teu retorno.
Não é questão de sentir remorso, assim. Eu não sinto remorso de nada. Eu acho que eu só tenho que agradecer ao Sean por todo o casamento de luta, independentemente de quem seja. Sempre vai ser uma grande luta, independentemente se for contra um cara que está começando, um cara mais novo, não importa. Porque importa no meu coração, na minha cabeça, porque eu sou o melhor, eu sempre estou muito bem preparado e eu quero estar com os melhores. Assim, eu sempre falava isso pro Dedé, né? Se um dia eu estou fazendo super luta com um cara já passado, é hora de parar. Assim, porque, querendo ou não, para os fãs é uma grande luta, sim, dois grandes nomes, mas eu me sinto como se fosse um cara já passado, sabe? Ultrapassado. Eu não me vejo fazendo isso, por isso que é muito difícil eu ter feito coisas desse tipo, né? Então, nunca, se me oferecesse um cara, sei lá, todo mundo sonhava ele lutar com o Dominic Cruz, mas aonde isso me levaria a lutar com o Dominic Cruz? Parece que são dois caras velhos que estão colocando ali para, sei lá, para satisfazer alguma coisa, sendo que para mim não, eu nasci para ser campeão, eu só queria ser o campeão, então para mim ser campeão eu tinha que lutar com os caras novos, eu tinha que passar por eles. Hoje assim, pensando, cara, no treinamento ou nas lutas, todo mundo fala, pô, você está muito bem, tá veloz, tá rápido, sei o quê. Mas se eu não ganho desses caras que tem um nível muito abaixo do que o meu, sim, é por isso que eu vejo que não tem como eu chegar e ficar competindo, sabe, mais. Então, não me passava na memória, não sinto remorso, eu só tenho que agradecer ao Sean, né, ao Sean Shelby, por todos os casamentos de luta que ele fez, sempre foi aquilo que a gente pedia. Se ninguém quer lutar com o cara, eu me via lutando, porque eu, dentro da minha cabeça, eu tenho uma possibilidade, eu tenho um jogo para ganhar de todo mundo. Então, não tenho remorso, não tenho nada. Eu só tenho que agradecer. Um pouco da última pergunta, sim, da última resposta que eu dei, né? Eu queria colocar um pouco mais. Desculpa, Fabiano. É porque pela primeira vez, cara, eu pude chegar aqui em casa e pude ter a mente tranquila, sabe? Não pensar mais em nada. Eu tava livre, tipo, leve. Não tinha peso mais de lutar, mais de nada. Assim, pela primeira vez eu senti, cara, um alívio, vamos falar assim, um alívio, uma tranquilidade, assim, de ter feito o meu melhor e estava satisfeito por tudo aquilo que eu tinha feito.
So no regret. There's no regret. Only being thankful and grateful for Sean for the matchmaking, because it's always going to be a show regardless of the opponent. Whether it's young, up and coming, I'm always going to be ready. I'm ready. I only worry about myself and what I can do. I know I can deliver, and I was always prepared for the fights. And I always told the dad about this. If I'm getting super fights against older dudes, that means that means I'm not there. That means the dream of being a champion. I trained and worked and wanted to be a champion. So that means if I fought like a guy like Cruz, maybe people would just see it as like, hey, these are these older dudes that are just what are they putting the fight on for? It's just for the people to watch. Like that's outside of that dream of wanting to be a champion and training for that. And when training and fighting, everybody just looked at me. It's like, you look great. And basically, I would tell people, if I don't beat the up-and-comers, if I don't get through those challenges, then why am I here? Why competing? Because I want to be a champion. And in order to be a champion, you have to be there. So I'm just very thankful for Sean Shelby for the matchmaking. Everything myself and Dede asked for, I mean, he got it. So I always saw myself fighting. Already with the guy, I was there. Like fight was scheduled. I was already seeing myself fighting because that's where I worry about my performance. Actually, just going back to the answer from before. For the first time in my life, I got back home and I had like a clean slate and a clean mind and relief, just calmness, just tranquility. I just came back home and everything was okay this time by coming back afterwards.
I love to hear that. It's sort of irrelevant now, but just curious, in the moment, I think you thought you won the fight against Ayman Zahabi. I thought you won the fight as well. Have you rewatched the fight, and if so, do you still feel the same way?
Cara, bem bacana saber que você está sentindo esse alívio. É legal escutar isso. Eu sei que agora pode parecer irrelevante, mas vamos falar um pouco da luta anterior. Você pareceu, na hora que você realmente achou que venceu a luta contra o Ayman Zahabi, eu acho particularmente, né? O Ariel acha que você venceu a luta. O que você achou da luta contra o Ayman Zahabi? Você já viu de novo a luta contra o Ayman Zahabi para ver o que aconteceu e se você realmente acha que você ganhou?
Sim, na minha memória, eu tenho que eu venci a luta. Eu acho que eu tinha ganhado bem o primeiro round, até o segundo também. Eu achei que eu levei os melhores rounds sempre foram meu. E no terceiro round, eu acho que eu dei 2 knockdowns nele, se eu não me engano. Ali, e para ele tirar essa vantagem, eu poderia ter, sei lá, tinha que dar 2 knockdowns, apagado, qualquer coisa. E quando ali eu tentei olhar pro tempo, eu não consegui, né? E eu tentei dar uma queda para ver mais ou menos como é que tava, porque na minha cabeça faltava menos de 1 minuto para a luta, por tudo aquilo que tinha rodado ali muito tempo. Então eu tentei, onde que eu puxei para a guarda e fiquei segurando a luta, achando que eu já tinha ganho a luta, assim. Sabe? Então na minha cabeça eu tenho a luta, mas sobre assistir não, cara, como eu acabei de te falar, né? Então, assim, eu não assisti a luta, nem pretendo assistir, assim, isso chegou a todo mundo, tanto de mensagem, tanto lá ainda em Montreal, como na internet, em todo lugar, todo mundo falou que eu ganhei a luta claramente. Não sei como o juiz viu aquilo, acho que o próprio Dena, todo mundo chegou e falou comigo que eu tinha vencido, então não, acho que para mim isso já é passado, sabe, Ariel? Então já passou, dependendo do resultado, seria a minha decisão que eu estou hoje, então estou muito feliz, assim, fiquei triste logo porque eu esperava ter vencido a luta e ter parado com a vitória, mas isso não aconteceu, então não foi culpa minha, eu acho que eu fiz o meu papel ali, tentei dar o máximo, tentei trocar, tentei fazer tudo aquilo que eu sempre fiz de melhor, mas, cara, não, assim, não me vejo vendo luta, mas já passou, desejo o melhor. O Zahabi é um cara que tem um coração gigante também, porra, merece ali estar ali dentro do Ultimate, então, cara, não, para mim eu fiz o meu papel, dei meu máximo, cheguei lá dentro, fiz o meu melhor e para mim eu ganhei a luta, como para você também, mas não pretendo olhar, não pretendo mais fazer nada daquilo vai mudar meu sentimento que eu sinto hoje, então eu fico feliz pela apresentação, pela luta, que foi empolgante, e pela minha carreira em geral.
So, in my memory, yeah, I won the first round well. Second, too, I thought I got that I won as well. And then I had 2 knockdowns in if I was mistaken, in the third round. And I'm thinking, what could he have done to actually win that round? When I started looking at the time, I thought, really, like, when I looked, because of everything that had happened in that third round, I thought that the fight was just with a minute to go. That's what I thought that the fight was about to end. So just that when the takedown happened and it went to the ground, I just felt I'm going to hold back on guard and just thought I won. I thought there was nothing that could have happened. I lost that, but I did not watch the fight. I don't plan on it. Messages came pouring from people saying that I won clearly. Like Dana came to me and said, "You won that fight." Yourself said that you think that fight, but I think now is in the past. I think independently of the result of the decision was made, and I wanted to win. I trained to win. I did everything that I could to win. I think I had a great performance. It wasn't my fault. I like watching fights. Listen, to Zahabi, he's a guy with a great heart. He deserves to be in the UFC. Had a great fight, but nothing will change the future. So everything in the past.
Obviously, you just said earlier that you want to spend time with your family. Totally understand that. Have you thought about what you will do now post fighting in terms of how you will spend your days? You're just 38. Obviously, Andre Pederneiras and Novo União, a big part of your life. Will you be a coach? Will you be at the gym? Or are you going to completely remove yourself from all things fighting?
Bem, você falou agora de passar mais tempo com a família, que as coisas que você falou que você quer tentar coisas diferentes, você é jovem, você tem 32 anos, você basicamente pode fazer o que você quiser, você tem Dedé, você tem a Nova União, tem sempre a perspectiva de você trabalhar ou continuar como técnico, o que você pretende fazer? Você vai se remover da luta, do mundo da luta por completo? Qual é o próximo passo?
Sim, né? Sim, eu vou sair um pouco da luta agora, né? Eu acho que o Dedé tinha em mente de eu de eu estar lá, né, ajudando ele lá no treinamento. Sim, eu acho que hoje em dia eu estou empenhado com a Kathleen Vieira, né? Então eu faço a parte dela de boxe, então eu estou 2 vezes na semana, eu treino ela e estou tentando ajudá-la. Mas não, cara, eu estou fugindo um pouco da luta, eu tenho outras coisas, outros business a fazer, outros goals, né? Como palestra também, como trabalhar aqui no Brasil como palestra, não muito a fundo, né? Porque eu quero ter um tempo mais livre com a família. Eu tenho outros business, outros negócios que eu pretendo fazer, que sempre foram meus sonhos. Então eu pretendo sim fazer outras coisas, mas totalmente fora da luta. Acho que a luta eu tô hoje em dia fechado com a Kathleen Vieira, né? Tô ajudando ela, mas assim que passar isso, eu vou me entregar de corpo e alma, como eu estou fazendo já. Eu acordo 8 horas da manhã, estudo das 8 até às 11, depois faço um treino de workout, né? Dou uma malhada. Depois disso, volto a estudar à tarde mais 3 horas, estudo mais 3 horas da noite. Então, eu estou empenhado no meu próximo espaço.
I'm going to be leaving the fighting world a bit. Obviously, I'm still very involved with Kelly Vieira's boxing. So I train her twice a week. So I'm deep into that and I'm working on that. But there are other things I want to do in my life. I have other things that I have other goals, I have other businesses and other fronts that I'm working on, like, some like also workshops and being a speaker in Brazil. Not, too knee deep because I want to have my own time as well. But those are things that I want to get involved in. As you know, like I put my heart and soul into it. So I'm studying from 8 to 11. Then I get a workout in, and then in the afternoon I study for 3 more hours, and then I go back and I study 3 more hours a night. So I've been pouring a lot into this, and still obviously involved with Catlin. So, and I'll be involved with that, and up until then, after that, just leaving fighting for a bit.
Okay. There's a great Twitter account called MMA History Today, which notified us that on May 20th, this day back in 2006, so that's exactly 19 years, I do believe. Yes, 19 years ago today, you fought and won and thus began your undefeated streak for 10 years. It was a fight against someone named Thiago Meller at Gold Fighters Championship 1, and you went undefeated, I believe, 17 in a row after that. Do you remember any of this on this day, May 20th, 2006? So 19 years ago today. Pretty incredible that we're talking about all of this.
Uma conta de Twitter que é muito bacana, cheia de estatística, acaba de alertar o Ariel que hoje, nessa data, no dia 20 de maio de 2006, ou seja, 19 anos atrás, você venceu uma luta contra o Thiago Miller no Gold Fighter Championship. E daí você ficou 10 anos vencendo. Você se lembra dessa luta? Então, uma coisa bem bacana que foi justamente hoje, 19 anos atrás, 2006, contra o Thiago Miller no Gold Fighter Championship. Você se lembra dessa luta?
Sim, só faltando um pouco na luta da resposta passada, eu esqueci, Fábio. Se ultimamente precisar de mim, qualquer coisa, eu sempre vou estar aberto, assim, a minha casa, a minha família. Eu tenho um carinho muito grande por Ultimate em geral. Sim, eu lembro, né, do Gold Fight, eu lembro dessa cabeleira, foi aí que eu pedi minha esposa também em casamento, né, que ela se orgulha de falar isso toda vez que está dando entrevista. Então, eu lembro muito bem dessa data. Foi até de 70 quilos, né? Eu estava voltando, tinha lutado de 63 ou 62 e subi para lutar de 70 quilos. E lembro muito bem lá em Teresópolis, muito frio, e lembro justamente disso, depois que eu venci, né? Eu pude pedir ela em casamento.
Yeah, I remember that. First of all, let's go back to the previous answer. If the UFC needs for anything, obviously, and as far as a personality, it's my life, it's my family, so I'll always be there for the UFC if they need me for anything. So I remember that. I remember that very well, and I remember because I actually asked my wife to marry me. So that's a date that we remember a lot. I'll always remember. So actually, that was the date that we're always going to remember because of that reason. So, and I remember it was very, very cold because it was back in Teresópolis in Rio. It's a lot of cold there a lot of times. So I remember the cold, and also just like, I actually moved up to 155. So that's
wow.
And then coming back. But I remember that day.
Yes.
Great memories and happy anniversary. We'll end with this, Jose. What a great honor it has been covering your career. I remember the Mike Brown fight, and I remember the day after the Mike Brown fight when you met with us in Las Vegas, and you were the new champion in WEC, and we had no idea what was to come, but the incredible performances and the memories that you gave us, and you're always so great to talk to, always so great with the media. It's one of the great joys of my career to be able to cover your career, but I will most certainly, number one, never forget Auburn Hills, UFC 123. You were given the UFC Featherweight Championship, and that video that came out of you getting your first suit with Ed Soares and Derek. You were in one of the stores in Michigan buying your first suit, and you were laughing. You couldn't control yourself. That, to me, when I think of Jose Aldo and the spirit that you had, how happy you were. This video, I always talk about it. And the wee every time you were trying it out, you couldn't stop laughing. This to me is my favorite Jose Aldo moment. I love everything about this. And so, in conclusion, I just wanted to ask what you would say if you could pick one of the many great moments you gave us. What you would say is your happiest moment of your MMA career.
Tem muitas memórias, eu me lembro muito da tua luta contra o Mike Brown, Vegas, né, WEC, e depois disso os desempenhos só foram melhores. Você falou com a gente, você foi super bacana e sentou para conversar com a Ariel, com todo mundo. Os desempenhos só foram melhorando, você cada vez sempre muito atencioso com todos da imprensa, sempre foi muito legal com todo mundo. É um prazer ter coberto toda essa tua trajetória, tua carreira, tua vida. Eu vou me lembrar do momento sempre que a gente está mostrando aí, que foi em Auburn Hills. Você 123, você foi lá e título dos penas, e você com o Ed e com o Derek, vocês vendo o teu primeiro terno, né? A tua alegria, a maneira como você estava reagindo, eu vou sempre me lembrar de como você estava rindo, feliz, e esse, para mim, é um dos grandes momentos do José Aldo. Eu vou perguntar, então, concluindo para o próprio José Aldo, qual que é o teu momento mais importante, ou o momento que você mais se lembra, que você gostaria de compartilhar com a gente?
Sim, tem vários momentos, sabe, Ariel, assim, que eu tive. Acho que para mim sempre foi um prazer muito grande, né, de não falar com você, mas com todos os jornalistas, de poder ajudá-lo também a fazer o trabalho de vocês, que era estar ali cobrindo os eventos e falando um pouco da gente. Então era uma troca muito legal, assim, um carinho muito grande que eu tenho por todo. Eu acho que às vezes eu sempre peço um pouco de desculpa, né, durante o meu treinamento. Eu nunca pude dar muita atenção, mas fora, passando a luta, eu não via problema não estar conversando com todos vocês, né? Então eu sempre vou guardar isso no meu coração. Eu tenho vários momentos muito bons, assim, dentro da luta. Quando eu ganhei do Mike Brown, eu jamais sonharia um dia que ia ser um campeão mundial de alguma coisa. Eu tinha um sonho de ser jogador de futebol, né? Só que eu sou do norte do Brasil, né? Então, de uma família humilde, onde que na minha cabeça, assim, eu não existia, sabe, esse outro lado, e sim, era coisa da TV. E eu poder sair de Manaus, vir para cá para o Rio de Janeiro, depois disso virar lutador, depois disso ser campeão, assim, que é uma emoção muito grande, sabe? De chorar. Aí, especialmente nesse dia, assim, é um momento que passa felicidade. Eu acho que todo mundo, quando assiste esse vídeo, assim, sente uma coisa boa, sabe? De uma felicidade. Porque eu não sonhava em chegar onde que eu sonhei e estar ali experimentando perna pela primeira vez, sabe, cara? Onde que eu sentia muita cócega, né? Aqui no pescoço. E eu me sentia muito engraçado colocando aquela roupa, cara. Eu sempre andei de chinelo, de short e camiseta. Então, naquele momento, eu tá experimentando um suíte, né, um terno ali para ir para uma ocasião especial, cara. Assim, diferente, sabe? Mas, assim, quanto o Mike Brown é um momento marcante. Quando o Dana me entregou o cinturão do Ultimate. Vou me alongar, tá, Fabiano? Quando eu comecei, assim, sonhar em ser lutador e ser campeão do Ultimate, né? Então, o Rodrigo Ruas, sobrinho do Marco Ruas, né? O lendário Marco Ruas foi campeão do Ultimate. Na casa dele, eu vi um videogame, a gente ficou jogando o UFC, e eu falei que ia ser campeão do UFC naquele momento. Então, eu era muito novo, menor de idade, estava começando a treinar jiu-jitsu, estava no jiu-jitsu, começando a treinar o kickbox e sonhar em ser campeão e estar dentro do UFC, sendo que a menor categoria na época era 70, depois acabou 70 e depois começou a categoria de 77. Mas assim mesmo, na minha cabeça, eu me via sendo campeão, me via sendo isso tudo que eu me tornei. Mas tem um detalhe que eu sempre converso com o Ariel, né? Foi um dia a gente sentado, eu sempre gostei muito de comer hambúrguer, né? Então eu estava lá sentado na calçada com ele e ele me fez uma pergunta assim que isso ficou marcado, ele mesmo pode contar essa história. Que ele perguntou como que me via daqui, sei lá, quando eu parasse de lutar, quanto seria assim um dinheiro ideal para mim, assim, sabe, cara? E naquele momento eu respondi que R$ 5, quando eu parasse, se eu ganhasse R$ 5.000, seria para mim seria ótimo, sabe? Eu estaria muito bem financeiramente, eu estaria, cara, feliz, poderia crescer, sustentar a minha família, né? Então, R$ 5.000 assim, e ele falava, Zé, você não tem noção daquilo tudo que você vai conquistar, do quanto dinheiro você vai fazer aqui dentro, né? Assim, em outro momento, o Scott, na época, era o presidente do WC, ele foi no vestiário após minha primeira luta e falou que eu ia ser uma grande estrela, sabe? Assim, então, todo mundo que foi passando pela minha vida me contando essas coisas, onde que eu não conseguia ver nada daquilo que eu sou hoje, sim, faz um momento especial eu lembrar, assim, fica marcado na minha memória.
Well, there are, various moments. It's been a pleasure, and not just speaking to you, but speaking, to journalists in general, to help you do your job, to cover the events, cover the sport, and cover us. And I'm sorry I couldn't give you the proper attention to all the journalists during training, because obviously that's very focused. But whenever I could, whenever I was there for you. And yeah, you talk about Mike Brown. I never dreamed of being a champion. A fighter and a champion back in the day. I wanted to be a soccer player. Came from humble beginnings of a very humble family, and I moved from Manaus to Rio, and became a fighter and became a champion. It fills me with a lot of emotion, and these are moments of that moment of my brother. It fills me with joy, and I think it oozes joy to people, and it makes people very happy when they watch it. So trying the suit for the first time in my life, thing was tickling my neck. I would never wear anything like that. I was always walking around in flip flops and shorts and stuff. So to me, just to wear that for a special occasion, I was beside myself. And when Dana gave me the belt, I remember the beginning. I was Rodrigo Ruiz, who was Marco Ruiz's nephew, and we were playing video games. And we were playing the UFC. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I started to go, hey, I'm going to be a champion. And then I think that the last division was lightweight back in the day, and the divisions were not there. And I still said I'm going to be a champion playing the UFC video game. And there's a moment with Ed Suarez, you can ask him to. I've always liked burgers, so I was sitting in the sidewalk with him just eating burgers, and he said, hey, what would be at the end of your fighting career an amount of money that you would think that you would make that would make you happy? And I said at that point that if after fighting throughout my career, if I got 5,000 reais, I would be set. I would be really, really happy. I would be able to provide for my family, and I would be just happy. And he said, you have no idea how much success and how much money you're going to make and the things you're going to accomplish here. And another thing is Scott, back in WC, came to the locker room and said, you'll be a star. So to hear from people that they believed in me, and they saw potential in me, and they just saw great things in me when I was, coming up, those are moments that I always cherish.
I love that. You have done all of that and then some. Parabéns, congratulations on an unbelievable Hall of Fame career. You're one of the greatest of all time, Jose. Really, truly, we will miss you, but you have nothing left to prove, and I'm so happy that you walk away with a big smile on your face and just happy and content. So well done. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Fabiano, as always, as well, and hopefully sometime down the line we can still speak and have you on the program, because it's always great to talk to you. Obrigado.
Obrigado por tudo, José. Obrigado por tudo que você fez. Obrigado pela trajetória. É um prazer ter você aqui. Você fez de tudo possível. E a gente espera que você possa estar com a gente no futuro, em algum momento. Obrigado por tudo que você fez, por toda a trajetória, por tudo que você proporcionou.
Acho que eu tenho que agradecer a todo mundo, Ariel. Muito obrigado. Eu esqueci também. Eu acho que você não lembra, mas até você também, né? Pode ter feito parte, né, da minha história. Eu acho que eu só tenho que agradecer. Quando o nego falava para mim usar o suíte, né, o terno, e eu falei, não, eu vou fazer igual a Ariel, né? Eu vou usar o terno, mas eu vou colocar um sapatênis, né? Então você fala, não, eu uso Nike com terno, então, não, aquele sapato bico fino, sabe onde que eu estava mais acostumado, então, até você me influenciou, então eu tenho que agradecer por tudo isso também. Eu acho que muita gente fizeram parte da minha carreira, eu só tenho que agradecer a todos os fãs, a todo mundo que fez parte, como você também, a Fabiano, parabéns, Fabiano, você é fenômeno também, cara, você é um sinistro, eu só tenho que agradecer a todo mundo. Obrigado.
I just have to thank everyone. I have to thank everyone, even you, Ariel, back in the day. We talk about suits, and then as well, suit people wear a suit with shoes, and I'm like, well, but I like today, I wear Nikes with my. So hey, why not? So like everybody's gonna be pointers and just helping me out. So thank you for everything. Thanks for being a part of this as well. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo, the one and only, the King of Rio, and the great Fabiano Busquet, who is the greatest at what he does as well. That was tremendous stuff, and happy that we had the opportunity to speak to Jose, who, like I said, when the story of MMA is written, and in particular the lighter weight divisions, 55 and under, like he's one of the first names that will forever come to mind, and I know how this works in 2, in 3, in 4, in 5 years. There's a whole new crop of fighters, and we tend to forget. That's why I always talk about BJ Penn at 155 and others. As long as I'm doing a show that speaks about MMA, I will remind all of you about how good this guy was. Go back to those fights in 09, in 10, in 11, in 12. He was unbelievable. The takedown defense, the kicks, the punches, the speed. He had the entire package. He really did. So really appreciate his time. Appreciate the time of our next guest. We are so incredibly late. This is what happens sometimes when you have translator interviews, so let's not waste any time. He is Ryan Bader, who just announced that he will be joining the Ryzen team and will be debuting in Japan New Year's Eve. So sorry that we're so late, Ryan. We were talking to Jose Aldo, and I know you're going to the airport and you're in your car. The translator interviews tend to go a little long, so I apologize for that, but I couldn't cut him short. So sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine. I got time.
Okay, I was stressing there because I know that you have a busy day. So we spoke to you right after it was announced that you were leaving PFL and Bellator, and then there you were at the Ryzen event at the Tokyo Dome announcing that you've joined the team.
Yeah.
Be honest with us. Did you know already at that point that, basically, did you leave PFL because of this Ryzen deal, or did it all kind of happen quickly?
It kind of happened really quickly after. It was one of those deals where, hey, if the money's not right, we might not fight again.
Wow.
And so they came pretty quick after, and we went out there and met with the matchmaker and Saki Kabara and had a good talk. And for me, fighting for a chance at another belt and kind of just legacy and maybe going out my last one like that would be amazing.
What was the experience like? I so want to go to one of those events. I've only been to one event in Japan, and it was a UFC. It wasn't one of those, Tokyo Dome, Saitama Super Arena. Was that your first time at one of those? And if so, what did you think of the whole show?
Yeah, I fought in UFC. I fought Rampage in 2012 in Tokyo.
That's the one I went to. Yeah.
It was nothing like the Ryzen event. We walked in. It's a show. It's it's like half WWE-ish. The opening ceremony, the guys playing the drums, the whole deal out there, the pyro stuff, and then the walkouts are amazing. And it was just a good energy. And we actually were there for like 15 fights. and it went by pretty quick. And there's something about watching fights in a ring besides a cage. You know, you can really see through that ring and hear everything. And it was, it got me excited. And, we're pretty much in at that moment, but being there really sealed the deal.
Obviously, there's great synergy because you're playing Mark Coleman, Smashing Machine. He made a name for himself over in Japan in Pride with the likes of Saki Kabara. Do you think if you are not cast for that role in that movie, this doesn't happen? Like, do you think that this is part of the appeal?
Man, I don't know. There was a time when we went back and, when I was in Bellator and I was potentially going to fight on the New Year's Eve card. Maybe Jiri, I think. Didn't work out. And so there was talks beforehand and maybe it would have come about. But playing Mark Coleman in the Smashing Machine and being able to, we dissected their fights. We rehearsed their fights, tried to make them look true to form. And then I was thinking, man, it would be cool to use this rule set, being a wrestler coming from a wrestling background, with Coleman kneeing guys in the head, a ground of opponent. And then, the storyline was just too good to be true there. And then they come and I get to do it for real. I get to play Coleman and, go through his fights and his legacy and pride, and then turn around in New Year's Eve and do it for real.
Are you going to be a part of a tournament there?
So I'm not part of the tournament. They're doing a tournament right now. They had the opening rounds and they'll have semis coming up. And so I'm going to fight the winner of the tournament. So those guys are going to fight.
Wow.
Probably, 4 or 5 times, like right in a row.
Okay. This is a good deal for you.
Yeah. I get to sit on the sidelines and get the winner.
You get you're the prize at the end, basically.
Yeah, basically. So like I said, storyline was too good to be true. I always wanted to fight in Ryzen with that rule set. And to go out, if this is my last one, go out with a bang, in that promotion and have the potential to win another belt in another major promotion. I mean, why not?
And is this at heavyweight or light heavyweight?
It's at heavyweight.
Okay.
And I'm about 250 right now, so there's no going back down.
Those light heavyweight days are no more. Is this a Grand Prix title or their heavyweight title that's on the line?
I believe it's the first ever heavyweight title. I don't think they have one.
So wait, so if you win that belt, you can't retire. Now you have to defend it, right?
I know, that's what they're saying. Who knows? I might have a blast out there, and right after you're in there, you get a win, you get another belt. You're like, I got one more in me. So there's nothing definitive right now. I always keep my options open. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, off the top of my head, I can't recall, but I think I might be on something. Is this the first time that you'll be fighting in a ring in your MMA career?
I fought in a ring, probably like my third fight way back in the day. Me, Cain Velasquez, CB Dalloway. We had to walk across the border to Mexico. We fought in this like 3-roped bullfighting ring.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was like plywood, painted plywood. So I won by slamming my guy, knocked him out. And then this guy was watching Cain hit tie pads in the back, and he backed out.
No way.
They tried to get another guy to fight him that already fought on that card earlier. And he's like, who's the guy you want me to fight? And they took him back and showed him Cain. And he was like, hell no.
So you actually walked there? You walked across the border?
Yeah, so for some reason we had to walk like a mile in across the border. Then a bus came and picked us up. It was easier than whatever, getting across. I don't know. We were at a hotel right across the border on the U.S. side, and then for some reason we had to walk across.
Oh, I see
legally.
This. Ulysses Cortez on October 27, 2007. Yep. You won via suplex and punches at SE Valley Tudo. It just says Mexico on there, but where was that in Mexico? Do you remember?
It was somewhere on the Arizona border, a small little town. We knew the guy that was kind of trying to run a promotion there. There was like 4 people there in attendance.
And wow, that's it? I mean, 4 people?
Yeah.
What?
There wasn't.
How did you get booked on this?
We have no idea. We kind of knew the guy, and they got Cain and CB too. We were warming up. There's like literally like hay in the back of like the bull stalls. We're warming up in there, and then went out, and like I said, that ring was so hard, it was like concrete. I just picked my guy up and slammed him on his shoulder and got knocked out.
Do you remember how much you got paid for that, if anything?
Yeah, probably like $300.
Wow. At any point in that, as you're warming up, are you like, what the hell am I doing here? What is going on?
In my earlier career, when you weren't making money,
yeah,
I fought for free one time. Every single fight, I'm like, I have a college degree. I was about to go to law school. a lot of times I'm in there thinking like, what the hell am I doing? And it really didn't go away until I started making real money, where I'm like, oh, this is a career and I'm making way more money than make anywhere else, but I thought that shit like 12 fights in.
Wow. Were you ever close to being like, all right, I've had enough of this. Let me just go back to the real world?
They're not really, because I got my fights, like I'm talking about going to Mexico. I fought in a equestrian center in Globe, Arizona.
Wow.
I fought on Indian reservation. I fought on a card that Tommy Morrison fought on.
Wow.
HIV positive boxer.
Wow.
That was allowed to fight. So these were back in the day in the MMA heydays, and anything goes. And then I got those done, and then I got on the Ultimate Fighter. And then from there, it just kind of took off. So I never had the chance to think like, hey, maybe I should do something else. I think the closest would be when I lost to Tito and I had 2 losses in a row, my only time in my career. And that was a time where I was like, I was already in it, so there wasn't no going back.
You also fought in the Cayman Islands very early on. The hotbed.
Yeah, we fought on a pier outside. Started raining, and they had to, in the middle of our fight, they had to bring in towels and wipe it down because it was all wet. People were sliding around.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
I mean, thinking back, it was a good time, and got out of there with all wins, but, makes the story good.
I feel like a lot of guys now don't have these experiences because they're like 1-0, 2-0. They get signed to Contender Series or PFL. Like that kind of shapes you as a fighter, right? Going through those hard times.
100%, and we kind of came in with a chip on our shoulder. We were, Division I All-Americans. We had a great wrestling pedigree, and then we're fighting in, a barn, and we're fighting in Mexico in a bullfighting ring, But for me, I was always looking at those fights like, get these done, and I'm going to get to where I'm going to go, but I have to be, 4-0, 5-0 to get on the Ultimate Fighter or get in the UFC or whatnot. And so those were always just something I knew I just had to do and get done with them, and I could move on.
By the way, we showed the photos earlier of you as Mark Coleman from the movie, and when we were looking at them before the show, I was like, what looks different about Ryan here? And then 2 things hit me. Number one, no beard, which is rare for you these days. And then the tattoos. It took me a minute, but I was like, oh my God, you look so different without the tattoos. How long did it take to cover those up?
Yeah, so that was about an hour, and we got it down to about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes every day.
Every day.
So anytime I went in, so there's a couple times I had like a long sleeve shirt, and they just did a little bit on my chest, make sure, and I have something on my finger. But if I mainly had my shirt off in the whole movie, I'm in that chair, hour and 45 minutes at least. And then you go do your thing. And then at the end, like you can try to keep it on it's like a shower won't take it off. You got to use alcohol and all that.
Oh, wow.
But it'd start looking flaky the next day, and you pretty much had to do it all over again. So then we'd have to take it off, which took another 45 minutes every day.
Oh my God. And so how many days in a row were you doing that?
I mean, I was working Monday through Friday every week.
For how many weeks?
Probably I got there May 12th, but that was stunt training for 2 weeks. So probably from late May to about end of July, August.
Every day? May? Oh my God. That's 2.5 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
How'd you pass the
throw
time?
out a few days where I wasn't on set, but that was pretty rare. And then, I just went in that whole deal. It's new to me. Low guy on the totem pole. Show up early, get it done. And it's just part of the routine. I would be like, man, on set, I'm like, man, I wish I was back in my little apartment.
Yeah.
Then I was in my apartment. I was bored. And I'm like, man, I wish I was on set. So I just kind of gave into the whole process. Obviously, you've been around, this whole deal, and it takes a long time to set up stuff and all that. So it was a lot of waiting. But end of the day, though, I had a blast.
Did you do all your own stunts?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
And when you're sitting there and they have to do like multiple takes, did that drive you insane, having to do the same thing over and over and over again? I've heard that it could be a little bit, crazy.
So our director, Benny Safdie, he was awesome. He kind of wanted to make it documentary style.
Oh.
So everything is real. And like, if you mess up or like, say Dwayne's mouthpiece comes out, and he stops and grabs it, puts it in, like he likes that authenticity. And it's when he has it. So we never sat there, especially dialogue, and did like 10 takes. I think everything was under 5 takes.
Oh,
We were
wow.
done.
Okay.
Yeah. So once he sees it, he has it, and you're done.
Any chance Mark is going to be a part of your Ryzen fight? I mean, I feel like there's a beautiful story there. Any shot of that?
Yeah. So we were kind of talking to him. He was out there when we were out there in Ryzen, and he was asking, "Hey, bring me in for a little bit of the camp," and I was like, "That's a great idea." Kind of get the ins and outs of the. I've never trained like, "Hey, you can leave this guy on the ground. This is how you do it." This is how we did it back in the day, and we're obviously very similar. If I get a front headlock, I'm looking to do that and control and knee to the head. So I think we'll have to definitely get him out there. Maybe they give us an extra cornerman and kind of complete
Oh, that'd be
story.
amazing. Oh my God, that would be beautiful. Just curious, we were talking about how I think Ryzen has incredible momentum right now, and that scene there, and they had Yuri involved, and they had Coleman involved, and they just signed you. And I feel like PFL, it's a bit of a weird time. One isn't signing guys. I feel like they have a real opportunity to get to that number 2 spot. Are you sensing that same vibe from them? They don't just seem to be like that little small Asian promotion that is trying to do a thing. Like there was like 40 or 45,000 people there at that event, right?
Yeah, that's what I didn't realize. I walked in and it was the first fight at 1 p.m. And it went till like 9 p.m. and it was packed. There was 40,000 people there at first fight. Like we were talking last time, I feel like the state of MMA right now for the opportunity for fighters is not good. There's not a ton of promotions. Bellator is gone, and Bellator was a place we can go and get paid, and as fewer and fewer promotions, are paying that kind of money, not picking up fighters, it's you get pigeonholed, you're going to the UFC or, they got to pick from there. So Ryzen definitely has the opportunity. It's obviously huge out there, the Japanese people and culture, and they're pretty picky about what foreigners they bring over, but I definitely see them kind of rise to that number 2 spot.
Love it. Well, love that they signed you. I think this makes a lot of sense, and I'm looking forward to seeing you inside that ring. Thank you for doing this, Ryan. And again, sorry for keeping you waiting. I appreciate it. You're a gent. Always appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming on. Congrats on the deal, and looking forward to the debut.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate having me on.
All right, there he is, Ryan Bader, newest member of the Ryzen roster, and the synergy there. Once this movie comes out in October, coupled with his debut, coupled with Coleman in his corner, helping him out, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for the film. I wonder if Dwayne put in a call and said, "Come on, sign Ryan. Makes sense." Usyk involved as well. Ton of famous people involved. The photo of him without the tattoos. Wild. Did you guys see the trailer?
Oh yeah.
Trailer's amazing.
It looked good.
I think a lot of people were saying, it's not going to be good. The rocks fell off. Now I feel like people are hyped again. There were skeptics out there.
The people involved in it are high level people. Like the Safdie's been like this is going to be a good movie. I'm fairly certain.
Look at Dwayne with the Nautica shirt.
I can't wait for it. The only bummer is that it doesn't come out till October.
Yeah.
I almost feel like though, like these characters are such knowledge. Like it's like if you're a historian watching a movie about history that you kind of lived through or saw, like it. I don't know. It feels a bit weird because
I see this sometimes, like Winning Time. You know that show?
Yeah, exactly.
And
like
they're
that.
Like playing Magic Johnson.
I'm like, I know Magic. I've
yes,
seen,
yes.
But if the movie's good enough, it will take you out of that. And so let's see, how they can create the drama. But the people involved in this, I expect this to be a fantastic movie.
Will you get that movie in Ireland, Pete?
Yeah, of course. What do you think it is? What do you
I don't
think
know.
this
Sometimes
is
it's like 2 months later.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Because back in the day,
do you
used
have to
be
go
like,
in a horse-drawn carriage to see the
no,
fucking
but
thing?
sometimes you guys get like the North American films a few months later, no? The shows and
New
whatnot.
world. It's a new world with Netflix and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
films are only in the theaters for like 2 days, then they're on the old streaming service. One concern, right? Just to level this out a bit.
Okay.
One concern I have.
Please.
Smashing Machine documentary is legendary. MMA fans, we've all watched it.
Some of us
a million times. What's it? Come on. Ben Folks did put out a thought after the trailer came out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I hope there's a few bits of treasure in there for us because from what he was saying, which is accurate, is everything that's depicted in the trailer is a scene that is in the documentary. So is it just
is it just one-to-one with no additional dramatization?
I would like something in there for us, you know what I mean? Something new, maybe a new aspect of Kerr's life explored or something new. I'm sure they will. It just would be a bit of a bummer for all the fans. Like, I mean, it was such a cult documentary, like an iconic thing within the sport. I would hope they just developed it a bit out further than just a retelling.
So let's see. Because the fact that he said, oh, you know, if Dwayne's mouthpiece fell out, like they kept it, they wanted a documentary style, would lead me to believe that they weren't going to try to copy it. You know what I mean? One for one. I like that. If it's shot documentary style, which is sort of the way the film is shot, but if it's shot that way, I think it'll be very interesting. Now, GC did reveal that he's never seen the documentary, which is totally fine. I think he was like 6 when it came out, if not younger. The question is, do you see the doc first at this point? You see the movie first? Really?
I'd wait it out, yeah. I would, because they don't want to, we get to then experience it through his fresh eyes, rather than us having the, you know what I mean?
You see the movie first and then the doc to see how it matches up.
Makes sense. So then I don't know what happens, in the end and everything. And then B, if the documentary is this legendary and the movie doesn't live up to it, then I would be disappointed if I had already seen the doc, where I can go see the movie and be like, this is actually, it's pretty good.
Well, his opinion probably matters more than ours if he's going in with no bias whatsoever. You know what I mean? He's going.
Yeah, I can see that
movie.
I could see that. By the way, is that a King of Rio shirt?
Oh yeah. I forgot to take it off. I forgot to take my hoodie off.
Oh, that's a sick one.
Shout out
that's
to
a beauty.
Jose Aldo.
Who made that one?
Full Violence.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Shout out to him.
Old school?
That's really nice.
Is that old?
Nah, a couple years old.
Okay. Is that the uncrowned crown there?
Where?
Bottom right?
I think
that means it isn't.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Before we even started.
The hell?
2 years before we started. I think I ordered this in like May of 2023 or something.
Guys, yesterday I forgot to go to the super chats. This is what happens when Frank isn't here.
Frank getting a lot of value adds this week.
Yeah. What else?
You know.
Just the vibes. Can we just talk about this? I mean, I can't stop looking. This is a classic right here. You see this, PT? Look at this. This is sideline. This is sideline Josh from our friends at McFarland Toys. This is January playoff game against the Ravens saying like, give me the ball. You know, it's fourth quarter.
I'll show you the MVP is.
Yeah, that's what this is with the big coat. Like, how does the coat stay on? I don't know. Where do you get these big coats? I'm not sure. But that's who this is right here. This like
they've got heaters in those bad boys and everything, don't they? Those jackets
in the coats. They have heaters.
I believe so.
How do you get heaters in there?
I like the sugar too.
Sugar one's nice. Where's sugar?
Desk is getting crowded, man.
Yeah, I like that. The crowder, the better. If that's a word. The crowder, the better. The problem is they have these bases on them, so there's this little thing here that doesn't allow it to stand up. You see? That's
a bit of blue tack.
Yeah.
Stick it down.
Yeah. One of them things. Well, then the problem is other people use the desk and everything gets all messy, So it's,
that's shade. I feel that's shade.
Do we have any super chats? And also, who's reading said super chats? I think Jordan should read them.
All right. Well, 24-inch Dubs says, congrats, Ariel. Bleed green forever.
This one warms my heart. 24-inch Dubs for months. Oh, Celtics, we're going to whoop you guys. It's just like the constant annoying trash talk. I have a friend who's a Pacer fan from way back in the day. I knew him when I was a kid in Montreal. My cousin dated his sister, and he was like DMing me, oh, we're going to beat you. I'm like, you know what? I'm not a trash talker. Just let me enjoy. I don't want to partake in any of this. And it never goes well. I just want my team to win, and I want to be left alone and die in peace. What about all the videos coming out about this game? I mean, do you guys feel it? I feel it. I put out my definitive top 12 moments of the rivalry, and I could still come up with like another 5 to 6. That's how rich this history is.
I actually haven't seen a single video.
Yeah,
the top 17, if you will.
Oh my God, the videos have been amazing. To the My Way song, WrestleMania 17 inspired. Oh, there was a new. Now they're making like up. What do you mean you didn't see it? You're refusing to click.
What do you mean refusing to click? I scroll my feed. I don't see a single thing.
I put them in the chat so you guys can educate yourselves. There's incredible.
Educate ourselves. I was there. What are you talking about?
He
was 6 years old.
I was watching all this. What are you talking about?
Hey,
I'm watching the same shit you were.
Don't even
the problem is I
diaper.
haven't thought about it in 2 decades because that's how long it's been.
No, you would have a better alibi if you said you weren't around, you weren't watching, you weren't born. The fact that you are actually alive, living in the state of New York, living in New York City, and you still say, I know you guys are trying to rile me up. It's fine. It's fine.
Rile you up? What?
I get it.
Stop me when I'm lying.
Stop
me when I'm lying about
Where do you rank it in the pantheon of NBA rivalries?
It's not even number 1 for the Knicks.
Top five.
Top 5?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Okay, the Knicks have 3 rivals, right?
Pacers,
Heat, Heat, Bulls.
Oh,
those are the rivals,
Nets?
right?
No,
those are their greatest rivals. Pacers, Heat, Bulls. Now, you could talk about the Celtics, but the Celtics' history isn't as extensive. The Nets is just like, it's a thing, but like they've only played them, I think, once or twice in the playoffs. Pacers, Heat, Bulls, dating back to the 90s. The thing is, the Bulls rivalry was very one-sided, and it ended in 96. The Heat one was very, very heated, but the team that we played the most is the Pacers.
It ended in 96. When did this, I mean...
Well, no. Keep going.
Let's just
99, 2000, 2013, 2024.
I'm just going to put it out there.
2013 was like a 5-game series.
6 games.
Six-game series.
Jordan in the text are talking about how much he hates Roy Hibbert and Paul George. Played them 6 total games in the playoffs.
It's so crazy.
It's okay.
You wear a Pacers jersey, I hate you.
For the MMA fans out there, because they hate this basketball talk, let's just encapsulate this. Let's just put a bow on this thing.
Let's put a bow.
This rivalry
it's
renewed. Tough. It's the Ultimate Fighter. It was once something, and now it's not anymore. And that's okay.
But by the way,
that's okay, Ariel.
How
it was
can you
once
say
something,
it's
and it's not
something anymore when they've now played? Can you not concede now? If they go 7 games, will you now say, okay, it's a rivalry again? Like,
last
will
year,
happen?
the Knicks crawled into the series with nobody healthy, and the Pacers just walked to the next round.
What do you mean walked? They beat us in 7 games. What are you talking about? Walked?
Yeah, because the Knicks were hurt. If the Knicks weren't hurt, they were winning the East, which, as you know, I had a ticket on because I really believed in that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. UFC 300.
The Pacers got by default because the Knicks roster went into the
and they were frauds, and they got swept in the next round.
Exactly. So that's not like a rivalry. They're just frauds who got lucky. And the Knicks will pound them out.
You hear the way Jalen talks about it? Tyrese Halliburton, don't
like him.
Yeah, he shows up with the Reggie T-shirt and beats us.
He wasn't even alive when Reggie did that.
Yes, but the point is, he stuck it to him. He stuck it to him.
Alive.
And so now revenge must be exacted.
35 years ago. Okay.
It's so
okay.
What annoys me so much is that I know you're just trying to wind me up. I know you're trying to wind me up, and it's still annoying.
This has been the message group all day. Just started going, you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me.
It's
season 33 of The Ultimate Fighter. By the way, here we go.
Are the Celtics and Lakers rivals?
Yeah.
Oh, but they haven't played in 15 years in the playoffs. How can they be rivals?
So
how can they be rivals? They haven't played in 15 years.
Is there any
they played in
recent
the 80s.
history we're talking about? Should we talk about the Pacers and
that's it.
And
I rest my
Celtics
case.
I mean,
the
Lakers and Celtics
I rest my
rivalry?
case. I rest my
Should
case.
we talk about that rivalry?
What
Let's
other
do a breakdown of it.
By the way, on uncrown.com, we do have an article from a good writer, Anthony Solheffinger, about Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, unique crossover relationship between the NBA and pro wrestling rivalry.
Yeah. Nice.
Can we talk about how this WWE storyline is like tying into it? It's been fantastic.
So they're really leaning all the way in.
They're
yesterday.
acting like they made it happen.
I know.
They scripted this
yesterday
matchup.
They did a thing where McAfee and Michael Cole made a bet on Raw, and I guess the terms of the bet are if the Pacers win, because McAfee's an indie guy, if the Pacers win, Cole has to do an entire episode of Raw while wearing a tank top, which is a staple of McAfee's wardrobe. And if the Knicks win, Cole, a New Yorker, longtime Knicks fan, he said he was at the last championship. I mean, Game 5, they won Game 5 in 1973 in LA, so I don't know if he was there, but he went to an NBA Finals game.
Okay.
Back in the day, McAfee will have to do Raw in a suit, which is something that he doesn't often do. But then they teased that Halliburton was going to be on, and then he announced that he's going to be in the new WWE game, 2K25, or maybe he's a downloadable character. The game is out.
He's content in the game.
Right. But to your point, they are very much saying like, oh, we scripted this. Remember, the reason why they had them there was because they had just played that spring. I think it was in August that they showed up.
I remember it. It was great.
So it made sense. But Halliburton does say as he's walking to the back, like, I'll be back. So it's all great. It's all brilliant. The one
Brunson
thing I'll say
versus
though,
Halliburton at WrestleMania?
Brunson,
next year.
Notice Brunson, when they were asking him questions about it yesterday, if you saw it, media availabilities, love it, listen to it all, watch it all. He's like, he's not playing around.
Yeah.
He's not showing up on Raw doing this stuff. The guy's locked in.
You're saying Halliburton is his eyes not on the prize. Is that
Halliburton's
fair weather.
He's a little he's nouveau riche. All right, look at
He's
Brunson.
more worried about getting in the 2K game than
look at
making
Brunson
it to the next round.
Hard hat.
Pisses me right off.
Yeah, look at Brunson.
You really don't like Halliburton, huh, Pete?
But well, it just pissed me. I only started watching the NBA like what, a year ago, and was that the series with the Knicks? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
So memorable.
And he just
The rivalry.
Yeah,
to me it was.
They played last year?
Moment number 9 in my top 12 list was from last year.
When TJ McConnell hit a 3 to cut the lead to 17.
Andrew Nembhard hit an insane three-pointer. You don't even know anything. This is like me talking about college
averages
football.
8 points a game.
Oh, like when Vince Young ran at the Rose Bowl. Like I don't know anything.
We were talking about that still in 2025.
I don't know anything about this.
Pascal
just
Siakam?
like you guys.
Remember him?
I liked him on the Raptors, but now you know he's the F out of me. Okay, what else?
Spider Monkey says, is Jones v. Aspinall being held up by the UFC for negotiation with a new streaming partner? Jones seems to be playing with the media for fun.
Okay, so that has been brought to my attention, but look, I think you could throw out that theory if they were saving it for 26, right? Because the new partner would benefit from this. But I don't think they want this in 26. They want it in 25. So I think you can make that theory maybe with Conor, although I don't even think they're playing that game with Conor, if I'm being honest. I think we might get some sort of intel on the state of things as far as the negotiations and where they may end up in the next couple months. So I don't think that it's months. Yeah, I don't think that they are coinciding. I don't think that this is dragging out because of any TV negotiations or streaming negotiations or broadcast negotiations. Again, I'll reiterate, I think John gave him a number. I think they met the number, and I think John quite simply said, I'm not interested. And I think that's where we are now, and I think that his behavior would back that up. Now, I think they're hoping that today he calls them or tomorrow he calls them and says, I'm back in. And again, as I said yesterday, there is no rush to make the fight now. I feel like the deadline is MSG. Does anyone disagree? I wouldn't be surprised if this drags out to MSG or if they need a big fight. Again, I don't see where that fight makes total sense. They then are forced to pull the trigger. But to me, don't be surprised if they just allow this to drag out until MSG.
If Tom is unable to force their hand, then they have all the time until MSG.
And when I say
I'm
MSG,
also with you. Like, if it does not happen by MSG, I don't think it's ever.
That feels like it. But by the way, when I say MSG,
you not think December? You not think last card of the year they might put it together?
Okay,
for that?
fine, maybe December max. But by the way, I don't mean like it's going to drag till November, till the time they have to make that.
Yeah, when they announce that fight. Yeah,
because if it's not that fight for MSG, and you look at who's out there, I guess maybe Topuria could come back if he wins. You know what I mean? Like there isn't that's the perfect MSG fight. Tom would rather fight tomorrow, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're running up against the how long can we keep Tom Aspinall on the sidelines?
6 months, by the way.
What'd you say in 6 months?
MSG's in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like we're just getting into the spring. We're just getting into the summer. We're talking about a winter fight. Come on.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. What else? What else?
Paul Cassidy says, serious question, can PFL afford Francis? If not, UFC brings him back to fight Tom for a vacant heavyweight title.
Wow, Paul Cassidy.
Whoa, hold on. What is this giving him props like this is an original idea? I literally said this on our prediction show.
Never heard it.
I said this.
You didn't say. What did you say? You said
I
Francis
said that
is
my
coming
bold
back?
prediction was Francis is going to come back to the UFC and fight Tom Aspinall.
Okay,
George, can you check that, please?
Yeah, let's check this. Let's go to the
Just
tape.
checked, did not hear it.
No, okay,
Well,
there it is.
this is bullshit because this Knicks fan over here is mad that I'm shitting on this non-existent rivalry, this ultimate fighter-esque rivalry over here.
You checked it, man.
Can I throw this out there?
Yeah.
Okay. I think PFL can afford Francis. It's a 2-fight deal, by the way. There's only one fight left. Yeah, I mean, who knows how it's structured. Point is, if Aspinall Jones doesn't come to fruition and everyone's disappointed, but we'll all just kind of be relieved. If they couple that with like, hey, we're stripping John, and it's going to be now new champion Tom Aspinall defending his belt against Francis. We've done a deal with Francis. Do you think the fans will be like, hell yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that soften the blow?
Because we are so desperate for a real challenge for Tom Aspinall that this becomes something. And Francis never lost his belt. The sport moved on very quickly from Francis Ngannou being the undisputed heavyweight champion because John Jones then got the belt and they were able to kind of move on from that. But the reality is Francis Ngannou has not been defeated in MMA since capturing the belt and becoming champion. And so I would really like to see that fight. I think that's as good a fight as you can get, on par with the John Jones fight, in my opinion. And so I think that's a great thing. So much so that I predicted it in December and January.
Wow.
Fair play to Paul Cassidy for this, man. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete C.
I like that. I like that.
You too?
Now, do I think it's a massive long shot? Yes, but
massive.
That might be their only hope.
But to go back to the first part of the question, can PFL afford Francis Ngannou? Yes, PFL could afford Francis Ngannou. But the question becomes, what value does Francis Ngannou have to the PFL, and what value does the PFL have to Francis Ngannou? As long as that equation continues to make sense for both sides, then you'd continue to do business. But Francis has one fight left. What's his value beyond that to the PFL? Is he guaranteed to resign? Do you have a long-term plan for him? You've now got this PFL Africa thing, but now the date is moving, and it seems like there's more things in flux. Like what is the state of the house is the questions you ask. I'm not concerned that they couldn't pay Francis Ngannou, but is it worth paying in Francis Ngannou if you don't have challenges for him, if you don't have new opponents and challenges that you can present to him? Tom Aspinall is one challenge that I do believe Francis Ngannou could get up for and would be worth his time.
You know, it's wild. As we were sitting here and I'm looking at the date, I remember it was around this time in 2023 that Francis signed with PFL, because I remember PT Chuck and I did a breaking news edition of the Ringer MMA show on a Tuesday in between two episodes of the MMA Hour, and I was going to Ireland later that day to cover the Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron fight, and I just looked it up, and it was May 16th, 2023. So, just 4 days ago, 2 years ago. And I bring this up only to remind all of us that they had Francis, and in 2 years, they did a pretty poor job of finding any type of contender for him, right? Like, you had 2 years to find someone. Now, the Fajeda fight, it worked out. He fights, Ryan Bader, but no one really knew who he was.
It should be said, though, that was good. That one was okay.
It was fine, but no one really knew who he was. In 2 years, they were unable to get anyone to come over. Remember, there was some talk of Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
He quickly re-signed.
Deontay Wilder. Now,
someone posted yesterday, it might have been Kaposa, and I don't remember when it was, but it was a period. Oh, because yesterday was the anniversary of Daniel Cormier versus Josh Barnett.
Oh, wow.
In the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix in 2011. And
was that the final? Cormier won?
No, it wasn't Josh Barnett. It was, you know what? It was Cormier, Jeff Munson, I think it was, and Barnett against Brett Rogers. Anyway, point is, it was some Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix second round, and it was in 2011, and a look at the top 20 heavyweights, like the amount of talent back then in the heavyweight division compared to now.
20 across MMA. Altogether? Oh,
absurd.
Man. That's like Brock Kane, JDS, man.
Verdum, Fedor still in the mix.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. Compared to now, there's no one. No. You know what I mean?
It's not the same.
What else, Jordan? What else?
And lastly, Charger says Rick doesn't know about Brad Daugherty.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Rick, what do you know about Brad Daugherty? You know nothing about Brad
Cavs number one pick. I don't know what year prior to my fandom number one pick. What I do know,
I think it was 88 or 89.
NASCAR owner. Like, that has become his thing now. Like, prolific in the auto racing space. So
what number?
Was he?
I'm not even looking at this.
Was he 21?
43.
Who's 21? Oh, maybe.
Right number.
Maybe I'm thinking of. I don't know.
I'm with you, PC. 43 for a center is terrible.
It's just whack. I'm trying to see.
No, don't hate on the number.
43? Come on.
Yeah, what is that?
Who's buying a big 43 Daugherty jersey?
A lot of Cavs fans at that time. He was the number one pick.
Hate him immediately.
Yeah, I'm with you, Pete.
Danny Manning was 88, so he's probably, I think he was 87 or 89.
86.
86,
That's a real
wow.
fucking number right there.
Oh, so that's right before Ewing.
No, I think that was the year he was
That was right
drafted.
after Ewing.
Ewing was
86, also a terrible number, Pete, for basketball.
Just
He said
weird.
87.
His nickname was El Gato Grande,
Was it really?
The big cat?
according to Wikipedia.
Wow.
There's only one big purr.
That's that is big cat. Wow, Len Bias, number 2 that year. Crazy. Yeah. Do you guys know about Len Bias?
R.I.P.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
Wow. Wow. Pizzi with the 30 for 30.
Come on.
I got a text from a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine yesterday. It actually made me laugh. I was going to tell you, his name is Jason. He's the man. He said, could I tell you, Pizzi as the 4th man who just starts talking randomly or laughing is the best. It's like an emotional hot tag. Like you just showing up.
That's in my description.
You're the emotional hot tag.
Yeah, I like it.
That's
I'm a
you.
very emotional man.
Are you nervous about tomorrow? Tomorrow it's PT versus on-air Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan won't even talk to me about it. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Just
What's
hung
the-
up on me.
what's
my dad won't even talk to me
It's
about it.
Man
Both
United
Spurs
versus
fans.
Tottenham.
Europa final?
What's the
Europa
stakes
League.
though?
The stakes are the
Champions
winner.
League football.
2 sad sack franchises get a gift and enter Champions League by
Sound
winning this
upset.
game.
But how? Why does that work?
Do you remember?
That's the
Can we
stakes.
just talk about the game when Alanga's scored the goal against
Yeah.
United and Ariel was giving it socks like, oh, what he's gonna do? We could be in a situation where
100%.
we're in the Champions League
And we're in
you
conference
are
league.
not.
And we're in conference league.
Why is the lower team able to jump
Because
into
so
champions?
This is like the NIT tournament, and the prize if you win this tournament is that you get Champions League next year.
But you guys weren't eligible for that
But
tournament.
just to be clear,
it's about last year's standings.
Got
it's
it.
gonna
got
be.
it.
We will be annihilated in the Champions League next year.
Okay, but what about what are the stakes? Your team versus Jordan's team. What are the
Well,
stakes?
I've actually already, Pizzi told me off the air that his dad won't talk to him this week.
Yeah.
But I've been texting
He's coming to
Pizzi's
watch the
dad.
game tomorrow.
We are actually
Oh.
really close now. And he said
Your dad is a fan of that club?
his dad
Yeah,
is a
he
friend.
talked me out of
is a fan
Oh
the same
my
club.
God.
talked me out of supporting this team when we were kids. Like me and my brother, he was like, "Don't fucking support this team. It is
Which
it
team?
is torture."
Spurs?
Yeah. He was like, "Don't do it." It was all my life. Joe, just watching my friends winning championship after championship. Don't support this team, and they were never on telly anyway. But
So
I'm
you
very
chose
very,
United bandwagon.
Yeah.
But
Well,
has that
United
been,
actually came to play Shamrock Rovers when we were just kids, like 4 or 5, and we were brought to that. And obviously, they went in to win the league then that year. So yeah.
But was he right? Because every time Jordan talks
Yeah.
about that club, it sounds like they suck.
Yeah.
They've
So
had
was
some
he
good
right?
seasons.
They
to tell you?
do
Correct.
suck.
They can't.
Oh, they've
they
had
don't
some
win
good
any.
seasons.
Oh, okay. So he was right
They
to
do.
tell you
They-
not
they-
to.
But I honestly wouldn't mind if they won. I have a soft spot for Spurs. I like Jordan too a little bit, so I mean, let them do
Thanks.
it. And I mean, like,
What are you going to do in Champions League too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. What is Spurs going to do? What are United going to do? Like, let Spurs have a
Spurs
chance.
have a
Come on.
better chance in Champions League than United.
Bollocks.
You don't think so?
Neither of them have a chance.
Bollocks.
Better shot.
I would say this trophy would mean a lot more to the Tottenham fan than
Yes.
it would to Man U.
Yes.
Man U's won
Yeah, I would too.
so everything over the last 20, 30 years. Tottenham hasn't won anything in almost 40.
So
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It's like what Ariel. Do you know what Ariel always says to Chuck when Chuck is like, "Oh,
Yes.
I'd like to win a championship," and then Ariel goes, "You already had one."
Yes.
I had so many. And it was great. So I don't really care. You know,
Have
I
these
deserve
teams-
this shit situation we're
Have
in.
these teams
after all
played
the
each
years.
other at all recently, or is this
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
Spurs
very
win
extensive
every game.
rivalry. It's one of the best
Spurs-
rivalries in the history of the sport.
Spurs won every
Man
game
U,
this year,
Tottenham?
basically.
No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm
When's the
kidding.
last time they played?
I'm kidding.
25 years ago?
No,
Oh,
like,
so there must be a
probably
big
like
rivalry.
3. I know you were trying to set up there.
Huge.
That's why I jumped in.
Yeah.
If Spurs wins, PT wears a Spurs jersey. If United wins, Jordan wears.
I know
a
he's
United-
wearing
really
United
a
jerseys on here,
punishment?
you know what I mean?
I don't know. I've got a nice little Brendan Johnson at home.
Oh yeah.
Little being the key word, it's your kids.
Yeah, it's my kid's kid size.
Actually, that'd be a funny punishment, seeing PT wearing
that
a
is
tiny
funny.
jersey.
Yeah, you got to
it
squeeze
wouldn't be
into a
pleasant.
kid's jersey.
You'd have to like put up some of the viewer discretion before he came on. I looked like a burst fucking sausage.
Well, I just want to tell you guys, I'm delighted for both of you. I'm pulling for both of you.
No, you're not. No, I saw the part at the end of the show when I smoked you that day, and you were like, "Well, after Peter's debacle, definitely Spurs for me." I love Brendan Johnson. I saw it.
What were you talking about?
Saw it.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Saw it. You've already stated who you're supporting, Helwani. Don't give me this fucking.
Brendan's
bird
my
face.
guy. I love the Johnsons.
Oh no! Just a second ago, you're
The
going to
Ma,
be
the Ma, we
now it's
DM.
No, it all comes out in the wash. It all
All right.
comes out in the fucking wash.
Gentlemen, I'm very excited about tomorrow's show.
What do we got?
Tomorrow on the program, we have Renato Money Moicano. We know that he will be fighting on International Fight Week, UFC 317, June 28th against Beneil Dariush. That was the fight that was supposed to happen back in January. Armin gets hurt. Is Armin going to fight this year? What's going on with Armin? What's happening?
He should jump in. If this thing is true about Klein, Armin needs to jump in, man. He needs to start taking some risks.
Yes. I mean, that would probably put him back in the good graces of the company because it feels like right now he's in a bit of a doghouse, if you will, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, Renato Moicano, always a good time. Michael Carter Williams, former star from Syracuse University, turned NBA Rookie of the Year, longtime NBA veteran, will be competing in his first boxing match next week.
No shit.
Yeah. He is making the transition over. Big MMA fan, big fight fan. His daughter competes in jiu-jitsu, but has always loved MMA, goes to a bunch of UFCs. I've seen him there. Is training to fight on May 29th, I think it is. So wanted to have him on to talk about why he's doing this and what his aspirations are. And I am really excited about this one, guys. I am really excited about this. One of the most interesting people in pro wrestling right now, someone that I've talked about on this show and online, someone who I've talked to guests about on this show recently, Karrion Kross, who has been doing fascinating things. He cut an incredible promo after WrestleMania. He's from Las Vegas. He wasn't on WrestleMania. He showed up on the post show. Look it up. Just cut a freaking pipe bomb-esque promo with his wife Scarlett by his side. He's done incredible things on social media. These documentaries on his YouTube channel. He's doing it all right. They may not be using him as much as he would like on television, but he is garnering incredible support online with the fans, with merch. The fans are behind him. Like, wrestling fans love when they pinpoint a guy that they think that they can get over the hump, and they all rally around this guy, and they think that he's being wrong. That's what's happening with Kross right now, and he's a legit tough guy, trains in jiu-jitsu, might in fact be a black belt. I have to double check, but is trained with many different guys, the likes of Matt Serra, Josh Barnett, trains back home in Florida as well, like a legit martial artist who has had a great career in NXT and WWE. He'll be joining us in studio tomorrow, which I'm very, very excited about because there's a lot to get into with Karrion/Killer Kross. So stay tuned for that. Did I get to all the news and notes? Did I get to everything that we needed to get to? I think I got to everything, right? Felt bad that we got to Ryan Bader so late there.
Ludovic Klein posted a video.
Oh,
there we go.
Politely waved to you and just said he's all healthy.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm trying to get it in the system, but I don't know if we have enough time.
Wait, did we clip that off?
Did we clip what off?
Like what? He's waving to me?
He literally tweeted and said at Ariel Helwani.
Oh, geez.
Just with a waving emoji and said, "Hey man, I'm healthy. I'm all good."
Okay.
Opportunity missed for Armin.
Should I ask his manager?
Whose manager?
Oh, here it is.
I mean, it's his face in the video.
He's literally in. Oh, there he is.
Selfie video.
Oh,
it'd be some serious.
It's nice.
AI.
It's nice. It's nothing like he ain't calling you.
I'm pretty healthy. See you at your show in 2 weeks.
Hey!
Oh, he's saying he'll be on.
He wants that dub, and he's coming.
Ariel, I am pretty healthy. See you at your show in 2 weeks.
Hey!
Pretty
Yo, I like
healthy,
it.
not completely.
Yeah,
for the record.
This listen, we learned we did this to teach you all a very valuable lesson. You must confirm, and that's what we did. We did it in front of you. We confirmed with the sources. Now let's ask his manager, Danny.
Double check.
Let's just double check because that could be AI, by the way.
Kevin De Bruyne's last game for Man City today at home, and he missed the sitter from 5 yards, hit the bar. Ariel.
He's one of our own. He's one of our own. He'll be a big part of the Chicago Fire's plans next year in the MLS.
Man, if Forrest, if
MGW leaves,
Gibbs White is gone, yeah.
Yeah.
De Bruyne the other way.
Nice. He's a little over the hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, more of this talk on Uncrowned's new Premier League podcast, which we are announcing.
Hosted by
Kicking balls.
By the way, a kick in the balls? That's not bad. Kicking balls? I like that.
Yeah, kicking the balls works too. We're all good.
You down?
Yeah.
You want to add it to the plate?
Yeah, we do it my time though. We do it before kickoff on Saturday mornings, so you're gonna have to get up at 5.
Oh no, I would just like to listen to it.
No, you're on the show. Already signed the deal.
Is it before or after the yard work?
Oh, look at the fucking unit there. That's my grandfather's pickaxe.
What is that?
I thought this is your grandfather.
Wow.
There he is there. There's Billy Carroll.
Is that really him?
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
By the way, why do you have that?
Why does he have an Apple Watch, I wonder?
I was going to say, it's funny how he's also wearing a white shirt, black shorts, and a watch.
Are they Nike shorts?
He's not. No, they didn't have Nike back then.
I love how everyone else is in coal mire attire, and his grandfather, Billy Carroll, is just in short sleeves and shorts. No headlamp, nothing. This is my pickaxe. I'm going to pass this pickaxe down through generations.
Looks like you, too. The hair. Now,
he ate lots of carrots.
What are we doing back there? What are we doing? Why do you
That's
need
me
that?
excavating the back garden there. See that lawn? It's fucked. We need to sort it out, man.
No, I thought you fixed it. I thought you sorted it.
The lawn's not sorted. No, the garden's nearly there. But it's been a long.
Yeah, you just need a few seeds, some fertilizer.
What kind of grass grows in Ireland?
I just sent you like half the garden as well. The other side of that garden is just piles of fucking muck and shit. And yeah. So still got to do that.
Bermuda?
Fun times, boys. I don't know what it is, man. pH levels and shit. Yeah,
right. Bluegrass?
I don't know. Generally just Irish grass. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Grade A Irish grass. All right, gents, on that note, we do have another show coming up. Hard Out 3:35. Hit it. Nailed it on the button. Right? Yeah. Yeah, nail yourself, PT. It is great. It is great to be here doing 2 shows on a Tuesday. Arrow and Ade, 5 p.m. Eastern on the DAZN YouTube channel and also the DAZN app. Please do check it out. We've got the White Rhino one, Dave Allen, joining us, coming off his big win over Johnny Fisher. What about that George Littard, PT? You were buzzing.
Man. Oh, he's fucking class, man. Handsome, potent. I love him. Can't wait to see him again. 12-0?
What's that?
12-0?
Something like that.
Yeah. Savage.
Well, a lot to talk about in the world of boxing. What's going on with Canelo and Crawford? What days is happening? And who's promoting it? What's happening there? We'll talk about Johnny Fisher. We'll talk about this weekend's fights, the DAZN debut of one Moses Itauma. And by the way, did you guys know that if Moses Itauma doesn't fight by tomorrow, he cannot break Mike Tyson's record of being the youngest heavyweight champion of all time? And guess what? His fight is on Saturday, and it's not for a heavyweight title. So the talk of him breaking the record is now essentially no more. But he is obviously worth watching and very much the future of the heavyweight division. Certainly the British heavyweight division. All right, thank you very much to all our guests today. Thank you very much to Angela Lee. Go check out Fightstory. Thank you to Mateusz Gamrot. Great stuff from him. Thank you to Jose Aldo and Fabiano. And of course, thank you very much to Ryan Bader. Thanks to you. Thanks to them. Back on Wednesday.